Tonight's officials, the referee, Mike Two, umpire, Mark Jackson, linesman, Lloyd Newton, line judge, Tim Whaley, back judge, Caleb Wortham. Captains for Union, number 0, Lane Wood, number 12, Gino Boyd, number 21, Isaac Covington, number 33, Damar Neely. Captains for the Jaguars, number 8, Matthew Evans, number 21, Michael Patterson McDonald, number 40, Connor Kaffner, number 44, Tanner Falwell. Number 88, Zane Zelny. Union won the toss. They have deferred their selection to the second half. To begin the game, the Jaguars will receive and defend the East goal.
Ball team. The question is, what will Union have left after losing about 84% of its offense? Tom Stockton, that's a big question, isn't it?
It's a big question. We discussed it with Coach Frederick the other day, and I've talked to Coach Maddox about it. We still have an outstanding quarterback, and we have great receivers. It's the offensive line. I think it's got the biggest question mark because it's the one with the least amount of experience, I believe.
There's one starter back, and that starter was not a full-time starter last year, so it is a mix-up on that offensive line. And the other difference tonight, Tom, is it's a much smaller offensive line. Union's offensive lines have been 300-plus for the most part. Only one 300-pounder in this group. Everyone else slightly under. And not that it's a lot under, but it is a difference there. The other difference is you lost 1,489 receiving yards, or rushing yards, and 23 touchdowns. DJ McKinney, the biggest part of that. You lost 1,208 receiving yards and 8 touchdowns just amongst 2 players.
Yeah.
With Grayson Tempest being a big part of that. But you have Gino Boyd back, and as you mentioned, you have the guy everybody in the state loves to point at, and that's Shaker Reisick, who looks to me, Tom, like he's gotten even better.
Oh, if that's possible, yeah, you're right. We were watching him in the pregame, and every throw was right on the money.
And now here come the Red Hawks.
Please welcome head coach Kurt Frederick and the Union Red Hawks.
Union coming onto the field. They've already had the pregame toss here. Union won the toss, and they deferred, so they will play defense here tonight. If you'd like to know what the head man thinks, well, we have a way to do that. The guy has him, and that is Jeff Johns on the sidelines. Let's check in with he and Coach Frederick.
All right, Coach. Well, first game of the season, it's always fun to get us out here. What have you seen over the summer that you liked, and what have you guys been working on?
Really loved the way our off-season went with our guys. Really solid core group of kids, and senior class is outstanding. It's been a lot of fun working with the guys, and they've been very dependable all summer.
That's great. Obviously, we had some guys that went out this last year. Braylon Irvin Fisher, Demarion Thomas, Bryce Ashlock, DJ McKinney, Grayson Tempest, just some of the many that we do this every year. We still got some guys coming back, Gino, Lane Wood, Trey Barnes, Isaac Covington, Shaker, obviously. And then some newer guys that maybe some of us don't know as well, like Braylon Danzig and Boston and Brennan McQueen, Jordan Schelling. And then one of the highlights I thought you might want to talk about is your son looked really good in that Gridiron Classic and got a pick.
Oh, thank you. JT's kind of growing up around the game, and it means a lot to him. He cares about it, and I love getting to have a chance to coach with him. And but we have some guys that will hopefully they'll make a name for themselves as we get started. I think Danzy and McQueen both have had outstanding off seasons, great springs, and just looking for those guys to have breakout seasons, and some names I think everyone will be familiar with, hopefully after a couple of ball games.
That is Kirk Frederick along with our sideline reporter, Jeff Johns. We'll hear more from Jeff during the day, and including he's got a bit of a report from down on the sidelines with Dan Newman, the Union trainer. Today, of course, Tom, unless you have a lot of injuries in preseason, Union fortunately has not, knock on wood. Everything is pretty good. But tonight it's going to be about hydration.
Oh, absolutely. It is just so hot and steamy. And I think that will be a favor for us, or an advantage, because I think we have better depth than Westmore does.
Well, that's one of the things Westmore will have to deal with. As we mentioned, though, the Southmore team last year struggled a great deal, but had a couple of very good athletes. Well, many of those athletes moved in here. So you're looking at several D1 commits already, including a University of Oklahoma commit on the sideline tonight for Westmore. As they take the football, there are several people to watch for tonight. Colton Bennett, number 2, he's one of the receivers, and Michael Graham Jr. He is the 6', 170-pound senior guy who will be playing quarterback tonight, and he can get after it. Now, if you listen to this roster, you will find Grahams all over it for Westmore. No idea whether or not those guys are all related or not, but we'll keep an eye on all the Grahams. You're going to hear their names, and you're going to hear them prominently tonight. So kicking off for Union tonight, the Red Hawks went through, of course, a couple of kickers in the last couple of years. Kicking off tonight is going to be Miles Davis, and he's going to place that down at the 40-yard line. And Kirk Frederick admits right about now, balls are going between the 5 and the 10-yard line, not getting quite as deep as they want. He would love to have that thing kicked into the end zone like it was really a good portion of last year. But he says that's just not the thing right now. We'll do the best they can to cover those things. They've worked very hard on their coverage teams. As of the dress tonight, you can see it right there on your screen. Union in their traditional silver helmets, white jerseys, and the silver pants, and then Westmore in the red jerseys with the black helmets, the Jaguars on there, and the white pants. All right, we are out for the kickoff. Graham is going to be the guy deep for Westmore. He'll be standing right into his end zone, and we'll see if Miles Davis can get it to him. This is an east-west field, which is a little bit unusual. It's a little bit like Boone Pickens Stadium. So the sun will be with us really most of the evening until it goes down. We're just past 7:30 here, and one of the reasons they delayed the game to 7:30 is hoping it'd be a little cooler. It's still right at 100 degrees right now at 7:30. And that sun coming from where it is over in the west, although it's angled, it's going to make it a little bit difficult for anybody trying to return a kick or catch a pass down that direction. So let's see how Misha Graham handles this kick from Miles Davis. Davis is ready. We'll wait for the official. He says good. And the 2023 season is underway. That ball will go down to right about the 5. Graham will bring it back, middle of the field to the right. Got a big hole in the middle. Graham at the 30, at the 35-yard line, finally dragged down. Davis himself, the kicker, made the tackle. They'll put him, I think, at the 40 to 41-yard line, and that is where we will see the starters come out for those folks at Westmore. 29 yards on that return. For Union, your starters up front, one of the things to look for. Lane Wood is going to play specifically mostly defense this year. Lane is still one of the better tight ends in the state, but number 0 is going to be playing a lot of defense here tonight. You'll also see Tucker Cook. He's another one of the new defenders in the middle. Westmore brings them out. They're going to mark it at the 39-yard line, and they'll be ready to go. Graham is the man under center. Motion from left to right. Going to hand off to the left side, and just to the 40-yard line and maybe close to the 41 was Matthew Evans. You saw Evans hit very quickly, and several Red Hawk defenders in there. One of the first guys there was Devon Jordan. You talk about D1 offers.
Yeah.
Devon and Gino Boyd and several of those guys. They're going to call that a gain of 2, and we'll talk at 2nd and 8.
And that was an excellent defense right there.
And normally you're going to see a couple of different guys rotate at that running back spot, but Evans is the man who'll get the start. He's in there again as Graham waits for the snap. That ball bounces off Evans' hands, and it is taken in by Matthew Evans, but he is quickly corralled, and that's going to be a loss all the way back to the 37-yard line. Very nice play, very quick by the Red Hawks, including J.T. Frederick, who was in there to take care of that. You also, along with them, you're looking at number 9, Trey Barnes, who's going to be a great player here. And watch Isaac Covington. He's got blazing speed. So it's 3rd and 12 now for Westmore. They're going to need the 49-yard line for the first down. Graham with the snap, fakes, looks, fires left side of the field, and a player comes open, but that ball was overthrown. Coverage in there by Devon Jordan. They were trying to get it to Meshaw Graham, but that was overthrown, and it'll be 4th down. And Westmore might have to kick this thing away, but we have a flag here.
Yeah, we have a flag. Might be holding because it was back there by the quarterback.
And that is what the official is saying, and Kirk Frederick's going to turn that down. Yeah. By the way, your officiating crew, if at any point during this game you'd like to write your congressman about him, is referee Mike Toon. The umpire is Bart Jackson. The linesman is Lloyd Newton. The line judge is Tim Whaley, and the back judge is Caleb Wortham. Specialist on the field now, Alizar Andrews will be the guy who will punt this away, and yes, Gino Boyd will go back to return it. He'll be at the Red Hawk 25-yard line. He will not have the sun in his face. Meanwhile, the punt will come from around the 20-yard line. That's where Andrews will hit it. Snap is very high. Andrews has it, and he's going to get after it, but that ball is blocked, and it's going to go out of bounds near of the 26-yard line. What a tremendous play after that very, very high snap. That ball was hit very quickly and blocked by Ashton Cunningham. Cunningham got the hand on it, knocked that thing sideways, and the Red Hawks will have very good field position. Tom, I'd say that's a pretty good start to this game.
You can't start it better than that. And now the offense is only 26 yards away. That's awesome.
Shaker Rising will bring him out. You will see a new running back. That's going to be Jordan Schelling. He had played previously at Jinx, moved into the district. This brand new offensive line lines up, and they will mark it right at the 26-yard line, but the officials are going to confab before we move forward. I think are they looking for a new football? Yep, they're looking for a new ball. And they still don't want that one, so now they've asked for a 3rd one. And we are set to go, or at least close. 3 receivers will come bunched out to the left side. The guy in front in that group is Gino Boyd. In the shotgun, once again, Shaker Rising, Schelling offset to his left. Here's where the sparks begin to fly. 3 down up front for Westmore. Rising with the snap, fakes, looks, fires deep to the end zone. Wide open is number 2. That is Brendan McQueen, but Brendan was just slightly bobbling that ball, and I think at the same time he might have had 1 foot out of bounds when he brought it in. That was a little uncharacteristic because for Shaker Rising, he never misses high, and I think that might have been just a little high, so it'll be 2nd and 10.
He was wide open. It should have been a catch and a touchdown, but
3 receivers again left. Boyd is now the inside set on this one, the slot. Rising, quick snap, hands to Schelling. straightforward. Has a bit of a hole, but then he's taken down. It looked like that was going to open up for a little bit more room, but then a very quick and nice reaction in there came from Amari Perry, and he brought him down. That's a gain of only about 2, so it'll be 3rd down and 8. Union's field goal situation is a little unsettled now, so Tom, it really will depend. It looked like maybe they got 3, so 3rd and 7 on how this goes as to whether or not they try to kick one. 4 receivers, 3 to the left side. Rising snaps, got a pressure from the outside, hand to Schelling, and he powers forward. Now, he did not get the first down, but he got close enough to try.
Yeah.
He got it to the 18-yard line. A group of
and they're going to try it.
Westmore's got Jaguars got there, including Jaden Williams, and very quickly, Union will be back to the line of scrimmage. So it'll be 4th down. They need just about 2 yards to go. They'll need the 16 setting right at the 18. Snap, keep. To the left, here goes Shaker Reisig, and he has some room and got down to about the 13-yard line. He was tripped up right there once again by Misha Graham, but a nice kind of a fake to the inside. Yeah. And then Shaker, who now we're told has some of the best top-end speed on the Union Red Hawk football team, got loose. However, there is a hold against Union, and that will bring that back, and now they might rethink that entire thing, and who knows? They might just go ahead and go for it on 4th down because the penalty, Tom, likely takes you out of field goal range anyway?
Yeah. And you're not going to punt it down here, so, yes, you're right. Just go ahead and go for it.
So that'll take the ball back to around the 22-yard line. And they need the 16. So you're really looking only at about 4th and 6, and I say only. Somewhat doable. Travion Perry, Spite will come in now at that running back spot. Now he goes in motion. Reisig straight back. They let everybody come through. Screen inside to Geno Boyd, and he's taken down, and that will be a stop by Westmore. Their best player on defense, well, one of their best players, their best linebacker is Connor Kapner, and he's the guy who sniffed it out and jumped inside to make that stop, and that was a nice stop. So they turn Union away after a really nice opportunity, Tom, and we're right back where we started with 9:27 to go in this first period at 0-0 and Westmore's ball.
And it just goes to show we were in excellent position. Penalty really hurt us.
So Westmore will come out for their second possession. Again, their quarterback is Michael Graham Jr. Matthew Evans was their running back in the last set, and it looks like he'll come back out again. Now both teams have gone to the sidelines, and it looks like someone's called a timeout. I can't really tell. Right now the officials are talking. I haven't seen an official timeout called. The teams are getting watered and going back and talking to coaches, and they're huddled around. I really don't. I mean, Tom, did you ever see them actually signal a timeout?
No, I didn't. And
so Andy Irwin, who is with the U Crew, is up here with us. Smart move, Andy. It's hot out there. Says, yeah, he thinks just a water break, which maybe they've called an official's timeout here. We'll keep it here and just let it and let this go. And as a matter of fact, it might give us a really good opportunity depending on how quickly they come back. There are some new rules in college football, or pardon me, in high school football, in college too, for that matter. Some new rules in high school football. Jeff Johns had a chance to talk to Mike Toon, the official, about those. And well, we're going to get back underway now, so we'll get that maybe a little later on for Jeff. Or from Jeff. The most impactful, probably the new out-of-bounds rule, the holding rule behind the line of scrimmage. There are a couple of other changes, some of which even the director of officiating in the Tulsa area, Ethan Rowland, says, you can't really make a lot of sense out of that one, but we'll see. So it'll be 1st and 10 once again for Westmore there at their 20-yard line. Michael Graham Jr. brings them up. Evans, the running back, to his left. Quick throw right side, and that is overthrown. Trying to get that out quickly, and just not able to get her done. So it'll be 2nd down and 10, and that time looks like they were trying to go to Misha Graham.
And as fast as we were getting there, first thing I think of is that they may have that one of those again where one guy steps back and one guy blocks and then takes off and goes deep, but we'll see.
One thing to watch for Michael Graham Jr. is he himself is one heck of a runner. He hasn't taken off yet, but watch him for that. 2nd and 10, Westmore, 3 out to the left. No score here in this first period against Union. Quick handoff left side. Once again, that goes to Evans, and he jukes forward for about 3 yards, maybe 2, actually. Up off the bottom of that pile, several Red Hawks. One of the first to get up off the bottom was Ian Rowe. They're going to give him, I think, 2, and we're going to talk 3rd down and 8.
Go ahead.
No rush here for Westmore. They don't seem to want to run any kind of a hurry up, and I don't blame them, Tom.
Nope.
Let the clock be your friend in this game.
Well, if they've got the ball and the clock's running, we're not scoring. So that is smart.
3rd and 8, they'll need just past the 31 for the first down. Graham is back. Now he's going to be pressured to his right. He's got a little bit of room, and Graham is going to take off at the 25-yard line, 26-27. He just skips out of bounds. The closest Red Hawk to him over there was Isaiah Forbes, and I just don't think he wanted any of it.
No, I don't either.
He just decided this is the discretion is a better part of valor, and he's going to let the Jaguars kick this thing away. So he goes out at the 28-yard line. It's going to be 4th down and 4. Once again, Alizar Andrews will be on the punt. Gino Boyd to return. Gino's moved up just a little bit this time. We'll see if Andrews gets it off. Once again, a high snap. Not a bad kick. He got it off. Gino calls for the fair catch and makes it at exactly the 40-yard line. And the Red Hawks will have it once again on a very short possession right there by Westmore. So we were 8:33 to go here in this first period. All right, Tom, early on, kind of what you think. First game.
Yeah.
A little bit
exactly.
of let's work out some stuff. Shaker Reisig is working with a really mostly new offensive line, and I know you can say, well, you practiced with him and you were in a...
It's not the same.
It's not. And you had a preview with him. It's just not the same, and we'll see how it goes. So once again, there will be a different running back in it. It'll be Travion Perry Spite at that running back position. He's a 5'6", 160-pounder, and he will be set behind Shaker Reisig. Double tight end and slot shift to the right. Now Perry Spite goes to the left. He'll take it straight up the middle. Got a hole, gets to the outside at the 45-yard line, still dragging forward almost to that first down line. He was dragged down by Michael Patterson McDonald. Not quite there, got a 9-yard gain, but that's a nice gain, and maybe that'll start the fire a little, Tom.
Yeah, that was a good call. It was right where we needed it to be, and now second one, it'll be interesting to see what we do. Are we going to try to maybe fake a run and go deep, or just get a first down?
You kind of double tight, if you will. They've got the short slot here. Now Reisig will be under center, which he is not very often. They hand it to Perry Spite, and there's a blitzer who busts through and takes him down way back around the 45, 46-yard line. And that wonderful play made there by Tannen Falwell, who just shot that gap. Now, Coach Frederick told us that this group will shoot gaps, blitz, and do many things up front on every play. So that young offensive line, somebody either just missed a step, missed a key, and it's going to be 3rd down and 4. Ball at the 46-yard line. Union needs midfield for the first down here in a scoreless first quarter. Reisig with double slots. Will hand off once again. Perry Spite has the first down, and he's up across the 50 into territory of Westmore. They'll mark him down at the 48-yard line. He really almost fell as much as was tackled, and it'll be a first down.
And it appears to me that we're much better at just running it right up the middle than faking it one way, going the other, whatever. They're just blocking them.
The 3-down lineman there. They're going to hand off once again, and once again Perry Spite runs off to the right. This time he hit, but he was able to drag forward. He got himself easily a good 5 yards, and he had contact early on. That first contact was from Danny Faboro, but he drug him another couple of yards, and quickly Union back to it. Reisig again in the shotgun. Here comes motion. Another handoff. Schelling has a lot of room. Schelling bursts across the 40, down to the 45, and inside the 45-yard line. Up off the bottom of the pile for Westmore was Keenan Estelle, but he doesn't look like he feels very good about it, and Union will quickly move the chains. That is a 10-yard gain.
And with no huddle, we're trying to test how well they can stay in.
Reisig will fire to the left, caught by Gino Boyd, and here goes that speed. Gino tries to stiff arm, but can't quite get him off him. He is out of bounds around the 22-yard line. Again, that is Estelle who made the play, but that one's good for 11 yards and another first down.
And that pass was so fast getting out there.
I have never seen a high school, and not many NFL quarterbacks with the release of Shaker Reisig.
Yeah, he's just fast.
1st and 10 for the Red Hawks, now at the 22-yard line of Westmore. Schelling, hand up straight off the middle, got all kinds of room, burst across the 10-yard line. He is all the way down to the 5-yard line almost before he's touched. Connor Kavner got up off there at that one. And he was a couple other guys helping out on that tackle, but that's a 16-yard run, and it won't matter. Now, he lost his helmet, so Schelling will have to leave, and here comes Perry Spite, who's himself had some pretty good success already today. So it's 1st and goal for Union, now at the 6-yard line of Westmore. Now Miles Davis is set in there at a tight end spot. Reisig under center. Perry Spite, handoff right side, and he is hit at the 5-yard line, drives forward. He is still on his feet, still driving forward. He got down to around the 3. My goodness. He got clocked pretty good by Tannen Falwell at the 5, and he just spun and turned and ground and just continued fighting and got himself all the way down to the 2, where it'll be 2nd and goal.
And they just sent in 3 new defensive linemen. So I don't know if it's tired or they're just big.
Rising alone in the backfield. Let's see if he sneaks it. He does. Shaker straight forward, and I don't think he got there. He might have gotten to the 1-yard line, but one of those monsters that Westmore just sent in jumped there and there on the tackle, and that was number 74, Carlos Pardo. He's 6'4", 280 pounds, so it's not like he's an easy guy to move.
Nope.
And it'll be 3rd and goal all the way down at the 1-yard line now. What do you do here? Do you sneak again?
I would.
Well, there's a lot of beef in the middle of that right now.
You got to figure they're going to go 2 plays.
You got Pardo.
And not kick the field goal.
You got Pardo in there at 280 something, and then you have Elijah Williams in there right now at 320 in that nose guard spot. Number 71 takes up some real estate. Andy points out they're trying to get tape or something, string or something. I think it's tape. They're trying to get off the field. Looks like somebody had marked the field for something. This is, as you can see, marked for soccer as well. Yes. So that's probably part of it. So they stopped everything and allowed Union not to worry about the play clock while they were able to clean the field. Here we go now on this 3rd and 1 from 3rd and goal, from the 1-yard line. Rising again under center, Schelling back in, single setback. Handoff left side to Schelling, and he pushes forward, and he's into the end zone, and that's a touchdown.
All right.
So Union had somewhat of a gift after the block punt in the first possession. Could not get anything out of that one. Got 3 and out for the Westmore Jaguars and very quickly took advantage of their running game. One pass play to Geno Boyd, and it's 6-0 with an opportunity for an extra point.
And with that many running plays, you can wear that defense out, especially on a hot, humid time like this.
And I think they're going to give that a try, I promise you.
Oh, yes.
Leo Buston is going to be in there for the extra point. That thing is up, and it is good. Took us a while to say just for sure because from here it was hard to tell, but it was good.
And the snap was a little low. The guy had to pick it up off the ground and then put it on the
You can go talk to Lane Wood about that. I'm going to leave that one alone.
No, I'm not going to talk.
All right, so it's 7-0 Union. Back in a moment here on the Union Sports Network.
To receive for the Jaguars, number 2, Colton Bennett. Number 7, Lyshawn Graham. Number 21.
10 plays, all of 60 yards. It took them 3 minutes and 30 seconds. Jordan Schelling's 1-yard touchdown run and the kick by Wood. That puts us at 7-0. Rick Corey, Tom Stockton, Jeff Johns, Richard Johns, and Andy Ewing and the crew from the U Crew are with us as well here tonight at UnionSportsNetwork.com. Welcome into the View. Miles Davis is set to kick off. Back deep is Keenan Estelle this time, it looks like. Nope, actually, once again, that is Misha Graham. This kick's going to be very short, and it's going to go out of bounds. We have a flag on that, so that ball will be placed at the 35-yard line, and that will be a decent start for Westmore. Now, Westmore, once again, their quarterback, as I said, as they bring him out, Mr. Graham is a move-in, or Michael Graham is one of the guys who I think moved here, and a very good football player, and a guy who can get out and run a little bit. He tried last time, but he did not want to get much when he got to the corner. Let's see if they give it a shot again. They've only tried to throw it a couple of times. They've been somewhat ineffective in the running game already. See what they bring out now. About 5 minutes to go in this first period. Union up now 7-0.
Boy, this is one of the things that in 2023 or that it was 20, 30 years ago, not very many guys are playing both ways, so they don't get quite as tired.
Some of these young Graham guys are. Mishaw's playing both ways in some of those, but not quite as many. Graham is in the shotgun by himself. He does have a tight end short slot left in there with him, and now Evans comes in motion and back into the backfield. Graham dropped the snap, and now he's going to have to hurry and take off. He's got a little bit of room, makes one, miss. He's at the 40-yard line across the 40, 45, and he has a first down. And that is what we talked about with the escapability of Graham. He was hit when he first dropped the football, did not go down, and got himself all the way to the 47 for a 12-yard gain and a first down for Westmore.
That was an outstanding run, and the defense just missed tackle after tackle.
We'll see if that fires the group up. 1st and 10 for the Jaguars now at their 47. Handoff left side. Evans again has a lot of room. He's hit very quickly once he was through the line of scrimmage by Ashton Fowler, but that's a good 6-yard first down gain. It'll be 2nd down and 4 for the Jaguars. And for them, Tom, I wouldn't be surprised to see them just settle for the run, whether it's quarterback, whether it's anything else. Once again, try to control that game.
That's right. And if you've got the ball running it, then Shaker Isaac standing over there on the sidelines.
There are 4 receivers in this package, 3 to the left. Graham back in the shotgun. Now he's going to take off to his left. Graham is pressured and then brought down. Isaac Covington is the man who brought him down. He escaped the initial pressure from Josh Cheehee and then was brought down by Covington all the way back at the 49-yard line of Westmore. So that's a loss of about 5, and that's going to bring up 3rd down now and 8. And that just shows you Isaac Covington has such a burst.
Yes.
And he's a good open field tackler. And especially when a guy like Graham, who's got some pretty shaky hips, and it's Michael Graham Jr., by the way, that's a really nice tackle. Westmore looking to the sidelines, 9 on the play clock. They are milking that clock. It'll be 3rd down and 8. They trail 7-0 here. Graham with the snap, back to throw, quick throw over the middle. That is caught for a first down. Big tight end, and I mean big tight end, made the catch right there, and that is Zaire Zealy. And he is one of their better players. He's another guy who's got D1 offers. And he takes it all the way down to the 32-yard line. That's a tremendous gain and a first down. Deepest penetration by far for Westmore after 19 yards. He was wide open. Snap is over the head of all the Westmore players, and it's picked up by Union. That ball went way over the head of Graham Jr. Evans could not get to it either. And that ball was picked up by Ian Rowe, and he began the return. Did not get an awful long way with it. He got the return back to the 42-yard line. Was just smart enough to jump on that ball, hang on to it, and take off from there. So it's going to be a first down for the Red Hawks, and that's just downright. That's good luck partially, and that is awareness, Tom.
Yes, very good. And that just kind of changes the attitude because
what?
Westmore was they'd been on the defense for so long. We took the ball down, scored, and then they were just coming right back up the field. Now they turned around and just, here, have some more momentum, Union.
Well, that's almost like a second turnover. Actually, they had a block punt. Westmore did early, so it's a little bit like that. So we have an official's timeout. Once again, they're going to be very careful about the heat. We'll let the players get some water and back with you in a moment here on the Union Sports Network. Players coming back on the field now. The officials are going to do a very nice job tonight, Tom, and I agree. Yes. Taking some specific water breaks, and that's what that was there. Union now leading 7-0. We are nearing the end of quarter number 1, and Union will take it over 1st and 10 at their own 45-yard line. Rising under center, fakes the Shelling, rolls to his right, has pressure. Shaker's going to have to hurry, And he tried to get rid of it. He did. He tossed that ball to Schelling. Schelling makes the catch at the 40 and somehow got forward to the 45-yard line. That was almost magic. When he first threw it, Tom, I thought for certain he was just trying to get rid of it.
Oh, yeah.
And he still might have been. I'm not sure. But, hey, I'd rather be lucky than good. Never hurts to be both.
Nope, it doesn't. And that was a heck of a play to keep from losing a lot of yardage.
That's about as good as a first down half-yard play as you'll see. So it'll be 2nd and 9.5 for Union. Rising in the shotgun, quick fire, and I mean fire to the right side. Got it to Schelling. He makes the catch around the 47-yard line of the Westmore Jaguars. We'll get there. And Tannen Falwell made the catch, so it'll be 3rd down and 1, and Union quickly to the line of scrimmage.
You cannot defense that when as quick as he throws it.
No, that release is unbelievable.
It's just,
you can't do it in practice either because no one else can do it. Handoff to Schelling. He dances back to his left and got that first down, and that's really just a good move by Schelling. That ball was supposed to go off the right side. He saw there was nothing there. He jumped back to the inside. He was taken down by Danny Forborough, and he didn't make a lot of yards, but enough to get the first down, and that is strictly vision on Schelling's part, and now it's going to be 1st and 10. Now at the 44-yard line. Shaker Rising, and there are flags and whistles, and we're going to stop play here for a moment. My guess is that somebody was in the neutral zone or somebody stepped into the neutral zone.
Union, it's on Union.
That was maybe the quickest call I've ever seen because I never even saw the official make the call. Did you see the call? No one here. We didn't see the call. We just know it went against Union. All right, so it's going to be 1st and 15. How about that?
All right, we'll go with that.
Hey, somebody at home probably saw it. So it'll be 1st and 15 for receivers. Now 5 as Schelling goes in motion. Reisig looks, rolls. Now he's going to run on his own. Shaker gets out of bounds, kind of skips out of bounds right about the 50. So probably right at the line of scrimmage. And again, we were told by Kirk Frederick that not only is Shaker Reisig one of the hardest workers in the program, maybe the hardest worker, he believes pound for pound he may be the strongest player, and now is among the top end speed fastest players.
I know,
on this roster.
That's just awesome.
Well, when I've had Kirk on my radio show and asked, when you're as good as Shaker, you still are trying to improve. So what did he get better at? And it was the speed and physical he thought was it. 2nd and 15 for the Redhawks, already up 7-0 with about a minute and a half to go here in this first period. Rising in the shotgun, now motioned by Miles Davis to the left, and now another flag, and this time another motion penalty. I think 2 players were moving at the same time there. I saw that one. And that'll take it back 5 more. And again, you're looking at a new offensive line. Yeah. You're looking at some people in receiver-wise who have played some. Brendan McQueen has played some other guys have played some. But they haven't played together a lot and in game action, and you're seeing that here.
And this is game 1. So, yeah.
Takes it all the way back to Union's 46-yard line, and they have to get all the way to the 39-yard line of Westmore. Inside screen to Gino Boyd, and he's capable of getting there in a hurry. Makes the catch, and he's tackled by half the Westmore defense. He got about 6 on that, and Tom, he breaks 1 tackle, and he's going to get that first down.
That's right, and he's capable of breaking that tackle anytime.
A little more makeable, 3rd down and about 14. I know it sounds funny to say a 3rd and 14 is makeable, but you got to believe in yourself, and I think these guys do. Again, Reisig in the shotgun. Davion Sperry Spite to his right. He's going to have to hurry and step up. Shaker now has time, fires left side. That ball's caught at the 40-yard line, dancing forward close to that first down. That was Braylon Danzy. They're going to take him at the 35, and that's going to bring up 4th and 1, and this is an easy go-for-it decision.
Yes, I think so. You're right.
Danny Forborough will come back in for Westmore. Perry Spite once again the running back, and Union looks like they might call a timeout. Nope. Westmore's going to call a timeout. So with 49 seconds to go in this period and Union up 7-0, we have a 4th and 1 for the Redhawks at the 35-yard line of Westmore, and Westmore has called a timeout to talk about it, which, quite honestly, Tom, is a blessing for Union.
You get yourself a little more rest, and, you got time to talk about a 4th and 1 call. That's right. You got time. And I also think, first thing I thought of when they come up there is they might go for the hard count, try to get him to jump offside. Now we'll just see, but
And they still might.
yeah, they still might. That's
But this
right.
gives you the opportunity to sit with a very new offensive line and say,
Don't
don't
move.
jump off sides. You can say that all day long, and as a guy who played the position, you know that you're ready to go, and sometimes it can just happen.
Yeah.
So they'll talk about it. I don't think they'll talk very long. And this first quarter went actually fairly quickly, too. You talk about this game started at 7:30, so it's a little after 8. It's a little after 8, so that's about a half-hour first quarter. And as the sun is starting to set, if you look to the blowtorch out to our west, it is just slightly above the horizon. Not that when that goes down it's going to get tropically cool or anything, but it will at least get a little bit nicer here. We'll see later on if Jeff John's shoes have melted yet. So it is 4th down and 1. Union back on the line of scrimmage. They will have double shift to the right side. Reisig in the shotgun. He will hand off to Perry Spite, and he is hit in the backfield but pulls forward.
Ooh, it's going to be close.
I do not think he got it. Because he was hit in the backfield, and I think was that Danny Farborough, I think, once again on the initial, or that might have been Connor Kavner. But whoever it was got just enough jersey that Tavion Perry Spite could not pull free, and he got just inside the 35, but he's going to be about a football length short, and it will be 1st down for Westmore. So Westmore twice has been able to turn Union away, and, you know, if you're Westmore, that's got to be a pretty good victory on your part.
Yeah, you got to be happy with that. And the defense got off the field. Now they're over there getting more water. And, yep, and the same way with the offense over there. Probably Dub is telling them a couple things they need to do better.
You think there may be some fanatical encouragement?
Yes.
Yeah, that's what you call it.
Yeah,
we don't call it being yelled at anymore.
No,
anymore. We call it fanatical encouragement.
Oh.
All right. Speaking, as I said, of rules, Jeff Johns is our sideline guy. Jeff is down. He had a chance to talk to Mike Toon, who's the head official, about some of the rule changes. Let's get that now from Jeff.
Well, guys, I talked to head referee Mike Toon. His crew's been together for 8 years. They've done a state championship together 2 years ago. And we talked about the rule changes that they've added this year in the OSSAA. One such rule change is the holding call. Up until this year, holding has been a spot of the foul penalty. So if holding occurs 3 yards behind the line, that penalty is enforced from that 3 yards behind the line. So instead of 1st and 10, it's now 1st and 23. Starting this year, that will change. It will start from the previous spot. So if that holding occurs behind the line, it will just be a 1st and 20. Second, the change when it comes to intentional grounding. Only the person who receives the ball can commit intentional grounding.
And what Jeff means there is only the person who receives the snap can have intentional grounding if that is a halfback pass, wide receiver pass, not the same. 1st and 10 for Westmore, and they'll hand it off up the middle, and that's really a very nice 1st down gain. Out across about the 43-yard line. That is Evans once again. Lane Wood, one of the guys in on that tackle. And do remember, this is an entirely new linebacker crew, and it's a very different defensive line, too. You're missing about 320 pounds now playing at Vanderbilt, right in the middle of that, and some other very fine football players, so it's a different Union defense. It'll be 2nd and 4 now for Westmore. Graham Jr., the quarterback, will fake the handoff. He's going to fire it deep. Out of player out there, but he overthrows. Once again, trying to get that ball to Misha Graham. Graham may have had a step right there, but that would have had to be a perfect throw. Otherwise, the coverage is not bad by Devon Jordan. And the coverage by Devon Jordan is never going to be bad. And that's going to bring up 3rd down in about 4. They really need to change that down marker.
Yes.
But they have not done that yet. The 1st down run got him 6. The incompletion was 2nd down. This is 3rd down and 4. Graham Jr. again in the shotgun, and now the official is pointing and saying, hey, guys.
Flip it.
Yeah, this game. All right, we're right now. It's all right. We knew what we were talking about. That never happens. Ask my wife. So here we go on the 3rd and 4. Isaac Covington sneaks up. Isaac blitzes, and right in behind him goes the running back, and that once again is Evans, but he does not get that 1st down. Actually, that wasn't Evans. That was Jaden Williams, and he was dragged down short, so it'll be 4th down and 2.
It'll be interesting to see what they do. I mean, you would think they would punt it because they're on their own side of the field, but they've also been fairly good on defense, and now they got a timeout to talk about it.
Well, once again, it's really hard to tell if it's a timeout or if that's a water break timeout. I never saw.
End of the quarter time.
Oh, there you go. It's the end of the quarter. That's right. He held the ball up. Well, there you go. All you have to do is look at the clock and you find that out, wouldn't you? Come on, Tom.
Excuse me. I was the one saying that.
Oh, we're at the end of the first period. It is 7-0 Union here at Moore Stadium, taking on the Westmore Jaguars. Rick Corey, along with the guy who was right, Tom Stockton. Back with the second quarter in a moment. We're back with a big 4th down and 2 play for Westmore. We're here at Moore Stadium. Westmore Jaguars against the Union Redhawks. Union up 7-0, and it looks for all the world like Westmore's going to go for it here. They bring Michael Graham Jr., their quarterback, back out in the shotgun. Now motion to the left. Graham himself is going to run forward, and he has the first down. So it pays off for Westmore to go for it on that 4th down, and that was a dangerous call for them. Tucker Cook made the tackle, but they do get the first down. And, Tom, had they missed that one, that would have been very difficult. But they have turned Union away twice tonight.
Yes, they have.
So, and more defensively, or Westmore defensively, has to be feeling like, hey, we got to be able to hang in here. So it'll be 1st and 10 now at their own 46-yard line starting the second quarter. Westmore trailing 7-0. Moore Jr. straight back to throw. He's going to be impatient and run. Got a little bit of room. Now he's going to flip it to the left side. That ball's completed at the 45-yard line. Makes one miss inside the 40 and down to around the 37-yard line. That was Jaden Hunter who made a very nice move. That was around the 30-yard line. It was Ashton Cunningham. He left there before he got upfield all the way to the, we're going to call it the 36-yard line. That's a gain of 17 yards and a first down for Westmore. So once again, that proving that it paid off a little bit to go ahead and go for it on the 4th down.
Oh, absolutely, and now they got the momentum.
Evans is the running back. He's to the left of Michael Graham Jr. And off middle. And the ball is out, and that was a fantastic job of stripping. And that was Ezekiel Palos who stripped that football away, and Union has it. That is another turnover. Union has the football, and that was nothing more than one of the old lawnmower rip right there by Palos. Palos was a guy who hadn't played a ton for Union, but you're looking at a guy who has the ability to do it at 6 foot, 250 pounds, and that was just a smart heads-up play. Union will take the football, and Tom, that is what is called just timely defense.
Timely defense. Okay, I'll remember that. Timely defense. And now they got to have timely offense and drive it down there and get a score out of this.
At their own 36, Union takes it 1st and 10, already leading 7-0. Of course, Shaker Reisig is the man behind center. He's going to throw it left side to Perry Spite. He makes a move to the inside, out across the 40. He is close to breaking it. That can't quite do it. He's across the 50-yard line, though. He did get all the way into Westmore territory, taken down by Amari Perry. But that one takes him all the way to the 48-yard line of Westmore, and Union quickly will come back after it.
And they had 3-on-2 out there on the wide side.
And that was a backwards pass, so Perry Spite had to catch that.
Yes.
This time inside handoff. Union's made somewhat of a living in there, and that time not a lot of room.
And a flag.
There is a flag. That got about 2 yards is all. Once again, it is Connor Kavner, who has been all over the place tonight, who made that play. Let's get the call. The officials are talking. And they have a decision. We're going to call that a face mask against Westmore. So that's going to move the ball for Westmore. Last 2 possessions, Westmore's lost fumbles, so they have been somewhat of a gift giver for Union, yet the Redhawks only lead 7-0 here in the second quarter. Big penalty here. This will take the ball all the way down to the 33-yard line of Westmore.
And they got to take advantage of this turnover and now this penalty. They've got to get it in the end zone.
At the first down mark, fake handoff and throw behind Gino Boyd. Rising had to put it right where he put it because there was a safety, and that was Matthew Evans, closing quickly. And Gino could not quite turn and make it. You even saw Gino at the end of that play kind of turn and jump around one safety to avoid contact. So that's a 2nd and 10, and that wasn't a miss. Shaker put it the only place he could. It'll still be 2nd and 10 for Union. Reisig rolls right, fires. That ball's over the head of, looks like Brendan McQueen, and it's going to be 3rd down and 10. So this offense, while good when it had to be in one drive, has just been a little spotty. And, you know, Tom, not that you don't expect that with this many new starters.
And first game, and you're right. It was a little confusing. You think they'd be able to do it, but you know, part of it is they're all new.
It's game speed, baby.
That's right.
3rd and 10. Looks like they're going to come pressure. They do. They inside handoff, little Utah pass to Perry Spite. He got forward to right at the first down marker, too.
Close.
That is a very nice inside run, and Davion Sperry Pite is proving to be worth his weight in gold already. Courtney Graham made the tackle there, and he's one of the better players. He did not get the first down, but he got close. They're going to mark him. Well, I say that. He actually might have. They're going to measure this thing, which is actually kind of unheard of nowadays in football. You don't see the change leave the sidelines very often. It's as though they're seaming it in. But they are going to bring him out here because that ball, the nose of the ball, is just looks like it's grazing the 22-yard line. So let's see what happens here on the chains. Make sure they're not like those 9.5-yard chains up in Ponca City a few years ago. Actually, that was quite a while ago. Looks to be short by what? Maybe a half a football?
Yeah.
Even less than that. It looks like it's short by a couple of inches.
Yeah, he kept looking down at it, and it kind of made you think, well, maybe it isn't short.
Short by what today would be a phone book. In the old days, that had been bigger. It looks like it's going to be 4th down and just a couple of inches for Union here. And again, because things are a little, shall we say, unsettled when it comes to field goals and that kind of thing, I'm fairly certain the Redhawks here will go for it.
Oh, absolutely.
Hasn't exactly been an offensive bonanza for anyone yet today. 126 total yards for Union, 59 yards for Westmore.
Surprised we're not under center.
Oh, actually, pardon me. I think it's the other way around. Union's the one with 59 yards. Reisig is going to actually throw it, but whistles, flags, and whistles and timeouts. That's going to be Westmore calling the timeout. So they probably just wanted to see the set and go from here. So you said you're surprised they're not under center.
Yeah.
They have been turned away on 4th down runs.
Yes.
At least once tonight. So you're wondering, is this a thing where Union was just trying to catch them and get to maybe Gino or somebody quick? And you saw Shaker look like he was a little frustrated after that snap got there because it looked like he kind of had what he wanted but wasn't able to do it. Now, though, the cat and mouse game starts.
Yes.
If that's what Westmore was doing, and if you're Coach Frederick and Dub Maddox and the guys over there, you change things.
That's right. And if you're the defensive coordinator, you may be trying in your head to figure out what they're going to do and run a defense that could possibly line up best against it.
Well, they brought out their big guns again. When I talk about big guns, they brought out 320 pounds worth of James Williams again to put at that nose guard spot, so we'll see. Jordan Schelling comes back in at the running back spot. He is in the shotgun to the left of Ricey. They'll hand off to Schelling. Plenty of room, and he has the first down across the 20, down to around the 19-yard line. There was a nice opening in there before he was taken down by Chauncey Law.
And we're keeping them on the field and play after play, and it's got to be tiring for them. for the defense.
Just over 10 minutes to go in this second period. It's 7-0 Union, and the Red Hawks driving 1st and 10 at the Westmore 20-yard line. Reisig fires right side very quickly. Ball caught. That's a nice ball by Brendan McQueen, and he's going to go down around the 12-yard line. You know, interestingly, one of the tacklers in there was Misha Graham, who's been there an awful lot. But then you look, and you got a couple of the defensive linemen who are back there making plays as well. So this Westmore team's pretty active.
Well, they
gave him
active
8.
and run.
Yeah, they gave him 8 all the way down to the 12-yard line, so it'll be 2nd and 2. Reisig under center has double tight shifts. One of those, Miles Davis. McQueen isolated to the left. They'll toss it to the right to Schelling, and he's got some room inside the 10, and he's out of bounds, but there is a flag. Going to go down to around the 8-yard line before Connor Kavner ushered him out of bounds. But let's see what the laundry's all about. Holding against Union. Now, as you heard Jeff Johns tell us, the new holding rule only applies behind the line of scrimmage, so this will be a point of foul, and we'll see where that was, and they'll mark off the 10. We're going to say that was the 11. So we're going to go to the 21-yard line, and it's almost like starting over. We'll have 2nd down and 11. Double tight end for Union. Schelling again the running back. McQueen in motion. Reisig rolls left, adjusts, fires to the end zone, and that is overthrown. Gino Boyd, that's really good coverage out there. You're gonna have to give some defensive credit right there to the folks at Westmore, because they didn't have just Michael Graham out there. They had extra help out there in coverage. They double covered Gino, wouldn't let him out of his route, and he had no way to get deep, and that ball falls into the corner of the end zone, intended for where Gino would have been, but was not. And we've got ourselves another water break. And you may be looking out here wondering, why are they doing that? Well, because it was right at 100 at game time. And that is still, I mean, it's still 93 degrees here. And it, I guarantee, was hotter on that turf. So these players, many of which from Westmore, you've heard me say Michael Graham Jr., he's the quarterback. He's playing both ways. Westmore has several players doing that. Union doesn't have many. Occasionally you'll see Lane Wood and a couple of others, but not an awful lot of these guys play both ways. And with that being the case, you have to make sure you rest your players. And they have done a really good job of doing that. Jeff Johns got a word with the officials about the water breaks. We'll get to that here in just a few minutes. In the meantime, we'll set it up at 3rd down and 11 for Union. Up 7-0, but Tom, they've had a very hard time with any consistent offense.
Yeah, it's kind of the first game type things, but it's a little unusual for Union, yes.
That first game, it doesn't always surprise me anytime teams are trying to find themselves.
Oh yeah.
So 3rd and 11, ball right about the 21-yard line. They'll need the 10 for the first down. Inside toss again to Perry Spite, and he's going to have the first down, and he's going to have more. He's still on his feet, and he's going to be dragged out of bounds around the 4-yard line. Little Utah pass or a shovel pass inside. The great thing about that is it's safe, because even if it's dropped, it's an incompletion. But that is twice that Tavion Perry Spite has taken that to the outside and made yards with it. They'll take it to about the 4-yard line, and it'll be 1st and goal.
If you'd asked me 10 things or 10 plays they might run, that wouldn't have been in the top 10. That was an awesome call.
So 1st and goal. They're going to mark it at the 4-yard line. Hand off to Perry Spite. He is hit in the backfield, and he's going to lose. Well, actually, I think he got back to the line of scrimmage. First player there to make the hit was Devin LaCroix. He was helped out by several others, but they'll mark that pretty close to where it was. We'll call it 2nd and goal from the field. Union's been able to run the middle some, but they hadn't been consistent. They've been able to throw it some, but they haven't been consistent yet. Boyd and McQueen both go left side. No one to the right, other than the short tight end. Snap to Reisig, rolls to his right. Shaker is going to take off and run himself and try to get to that end zone. Did he? The official says yes. Touchdown.
Touchdown.
Reisig dove at the end zone at the very last moment from around the 2, and again showing you some of that newfound speed that Coach Frederick told us he had. Shaker did a nice job of also holding that ball up as though he could throw at any time, and that causes defenders to stay back a little and gives him an opportunity to get to the corner, and it's 13-0 Redhawks. So we'll give it a shot. Jake Scarborough will put the football up, and that's a nice-looking kick, and the officials say it's good. And so we are at 14-0. So the Redhawks finally get that offense untracked a little bit. A little shovel pass here, a little shovel pass there, and a little Shaker Rising there. And that gets them to 14-0. Just under, 9 minutes to go in this first half here at Moore Stadium. We're at Westmore and Union. We'll be back in a moment here on the Union Sports Network. That drive goes 11 plays, 64 yards, takes 2 minutes and 26 seconds. It was the 4-yard Shaker Rising run and the extra point by Scarborough that made it 14-0. Welcome back here to Moore High School. This is where all the Moore teams play. Tonight it is Westmore against Union. Rick Roy along with Tom Stockton, Richard and Jeff Johns, and Andy Ewing and the UVU crew. You are watching the Union Sports Network, and tell your friends, unionsportsnetwork.com, you'll be able to catch the stream. Miles Davis will kick this thing off. This one will be short. Well, actually, that one's going to carry deep right to the end zone, but they're going to let him run it out. So here comes Misha Graham, and he's going to be knocked sideways the 12-yard line. That is really good coverage by Ashton Cunningham. Looked like Graham had some room, and Cunningham, like a missile, came out of there and edged him out of bounds with a little bit of attitude. So that's right where Westmore will start. You know what? You should have just gone ahead and taken the step backwards and said, I'm good for now.
Yeah, just let it go in the end zone. I think this is a big series because if they can, especially if they could go 3 and out, get them to punt them, and go back down and score, it really changes things.
Michael Graham Jr., their quarterback, will bring him back out. Running back this time will be Jaden Williams. When it comes to stats for this game, it's not impressive right now for either side, but the score is what matters, and it's 14-0 Union. Graham Jr. back to throw. Here comes pressure, and he's going to go down at the 1-yard line. That pressure coming from the outside from Isaiah Forbes, and I'm going to tell you, it's a good thing he got there because Misha Graham had made a little stop-and-go move around the 15-yard line and was about to pull clear of Devin Jordan and get open on that thing. But there was the pressure by Forbes. That was enough to stop it. That's going to take it all the way back to the 1. That is a loss of some 12 yards, and we'll make it 2nd and 22.
Now the play calling becomes a whole lot more difficult.
And that ball is going to be handed off, and it's going to be tackled, it looks like in the end zone, but no, not quite. You can hear the coaches to the left of us who do not agree with the call.
No, they don't.
And you know what? I think I agree with them. The handoff was, I think that hit was really close to in the end zone. They're going to mark it at about the 1-inch line. We'll call it 3rd down and 22 and a half right there for the Westmore Jaguars. And watch Union get after him now. Westmore certainly would like to get something out of this because they don't want to have to punt with 10 yards. They've already had one blocked. Michael Graham Jr., quarterback, in the shotgun. He's going to go back to throw. He's going to fire it as far as he can left side, and that's going to fall way incomplete over Misha's head. There was coverage out there by Union. Ashton Fowler was there, and it'll be 4th down. And already what has been kind of a circus for Westmore will happen now from about the 1-inch line. Now, every snap on punts has been high.
Yes.
If this snap is high, we're looking safety, and Union will have the ball again. Back to punt this thing for Westmore is Alazar Andrews, and he is not the tallest guy. So they need this snap to be on par. Deep snapper is Caleb Finley, and he has struggled some here tonight.
got Gino Boyd down here. He's just standing at the 32-yard line, so he's got a good chance to get a return if they do happen to punt it down that way.
If he can get it out of the end zone.
Yeah.
That's going to be the question. It looks like there's a flag out there, and there is. Was that delay of game? If that's delay of game, you're going to have a hard time moving that one back much more.
Yeah, it's a 2-inch move.
The official just picked it up, and he moved it about half a length of a piece of bacon.
Yeah, about 2 inches, yeah.
Maybe that.
Yeah.
And that was it. Bacon, I write to bacon, don't I? Here we go.
Yeah.
So it's 4th down. We'll see if Andrews can get it out. That time it's a good snap, and that's a very nice job of hurrying, but it's a very short kick. It's going to hit inside the 20 and take somewhat of a Westmore bounce. It'll go out of bounds at the 21.5-yard line. So Union will take it right there, and you talk about a gift. Now it's time to make a little hay. That's a 20-yard punt, and Union will start at the 21.5-yard line. They've already blocked one punt and started around the 26. They've had a couple of fumbles given to them and started in Westmore territory and have 2 scores to show for it. Let's see if with this one you can have a 3rd score, maybe going into that halftime. We still have 7 minutes and 11 seconds to go in this 3rd period.
Oh, and I think the referees took another timeout for some water.
I think the referees want a little water themselves,
No, I'm
and
sure.
I don't blame them.
I don't either.
It is a hot night for all of them, not necessarily for us, because the air conditioning is cranked down to subarctic up here, and I'm not complaining. The teams will drink. Hydration has been a key. It's been something that I know every coach has been talking to their players about all week. And it's one thing to say it, Tom, but once you get out here on game day, it's another thing as a player to keep it front of mind.
Yep.
You have 1,000 things on your mind. You're excited. There's adrenaline flowing. Mom and dad, grandma and grandpa are in the stands for the first time. It's a big football game. You begin this 2023 season, and your mind just doesn't always go there. So these intentional water breaks, I'm sure, will help. So it'll be 1st down for Union at the 21-yard line of Westmore. Union with 159 total yards of offense in this game and a lead of 2 scores. Westmore shows blitz, and they're going to come with it. Nice job blocking. Now Shaker's going to have to roll to his left and does. Gets that ball out. McQueen makes the catch around the 20-yard line. He's going to get inside that, maybe around to the 18, maybe the 17. Actually, you're going to mark him down closer to the 16-yard line. So that's a good 5-yard gain, and a very nice job by Brendan McQueen of stretching that out, and by Shaker Rising to escape the pressure. It was well blocked initially, but Westmore brought more than Union could handle, and it's 2nd and 5.
I'd go to the end zone on this one.
We'll see if Tom is Nostradamus or not. Miles Davis in motion, Rising.
No, I'm not.
Nope, he's going to hand off to Perry Spide up the middle, and he's not going to quite get that 1st down, but he's going to drive forward very close. He'll be down to around, we're going to call it the 18, and he's going to be about 1.5 yards short. Last guy off the bottom of that pile is Danny Ferraro, and he's made a lot of tackles tonight for Westmore. We're going to call it actually 2. Let's call it 3rd down and 2. I think it's really a long 1.75 yards, Tom.
Yeah, and it's down on the 12. Yeah, so they got to get to about the 11. It's down on the 13.
Rising will go under center. They'll hand off this time to Schelling, and he puts a shoulder down there, and I don't think he got all the way, but he might have. Looks like they're going to mark him at the 11.5. He put the shoulder down, but he got hit pretty good down there. One of the guys delivering that hit was Tannen Falwell, and I think they're going to mark him, they look like maybe 0.5 yard short, Tom, so it's going to be another 4th down call for Union. Probably hear the coaches next to us. They are on the headsets of the guys downstairs, and I thought these booths were soundproof. Not necessarily.
No, not at all.
So 4th down, another 4th down call. 4th and about 0.5 yard for the Redhawks. They're already leading 14-0. Reisig under center. He'll hand off again to Schelling. Schelling straight forward, and he has the 1st down.
Yes, he does.
He's across the 10. He pushed all the way to about the 9-yard line. Nice job by that young offensive line right there. Pardon me. Once again, Tanner Falwell down there on the tackle, but that's going to be 1st and goal Union. Ball just inside the 10-yard line now. Union with 6 minutes, to go in this 2nd period. Plenty of time to work with. Rising once again under center. Fake handoff, looking the end zone, wide open, throw, catch, touchdown, and that was as easy as it gets. Union makes the fake inside and then looks downfield, and before you know it, Dylan Baldridge is all by himself, and I mean all by himself. Had you taken a picture at that moment, it would have been him, the goal post, and that's about all.
Yep.
20-0 Redhawks. Nice job establishing the run,
Yes.
and then really good ball fake right there by Shaker Rising. Scarborough on once again for the extra point. The kick is up. Not terribly impressive, but it is good. Now there is a flag down too, so we will have to wait and see what that flag is about. Union's going to run off the sideline, so I think that flag is against Westmore, Tom.
Yeah.
That's what they're going to say. Union will say no, and that'll do that. So it's 21-0 now. Well, they still have 20 on the scoreboard. Now they say it's good, and now they can put the extra
21,
point out.
all right.
So it's 21-0 Redhawks. Not quite to the halftime portion yet. About 5:54 before we get there. We'll see, and we will let the stream just run there at the halftime. Otherwise, Coach, this is, certainly you talk about lots to work on.
Mm-hmm.
You'll have plenty, and they always, say that as a coach, you get best from game 1 to game 2.
Right, that's where you get your best improvement.
And you're going to need
yes.
to.
Yes. Yeah.
Because next week at home, it's Broken Arrow, and that's a very young Broken Arrow team, like everybody else in the state, hurt and helped by move-ins. Broken Arrow, more than anything, hurt. And we'll see what Josh Blankenship's team is like next week when they come in. That drive, 5 plays, 22 yards, a minute and 17 before Dylan Baldridge's 9-yard catch from Shaker Rising, and the extra point makes it good. So they mark off the penalty after or for the kickoff, if you will, and that's going to make it so that Miles Davis kicks off from the Westmore 45. You talk about a gift.
Yes, absolutely. It should go in the end zone.
Just imagine if you still had Tress Way here, it would go all the way to Highway 30 out there.
Yeah.
35. Miles raises the hand. Misha Graham is the man deep waiting for this, and this one's going to go well into the end zone. Well into the end zone. As a matter of fact, I think he hit split the uprights. You might lobbies to see whether or not they give you that, but I don't think they will.
No, I don't think so.
And it'll actually be Westmore's football trailing 21-0 with 5:54 to go here in this first half. So what do you think the halftime speech will be? Because you don't have time to go into everything you need to fix, but you do want to make some specific points. What do you think they'll be?
Well, I think one of the things you have to say is we've got plenty of room to improve. And that's what we need to do. Don't, don't look at this halftime score and think, hey, it's over with, we're doing this and that. And they get another good thing is Union gets the ball to start the second half.
So Michael Graham Jr. will bring his team up to the line of scrimmage at their own 20-yard line, trailing 21-0. Graham Jr. will take it himself and run straight up the middle, and he didn't get very far. The initial contact in there, he got hit really actually pretty quickly, but he was able to get away from one tackler, and that tackler is not even on our roster. That was number 96, so we don't even know who he is, but young man, nice job getting there. He did eventually skip forward, though, after escaping that tackle and got himself about 5 yards.
Yep. 5 does have to come off the field because he lost his helmet.
The helmet came off, so he's going to have to leave.
Whoa, it's not.
Okay. Now he's going to go back on, and I wonder if they're saying it was pulled off by Union, because if they rule it was pulled off, then he doesn't have to leave. And now the officials are going to talk about it, and let's see.
He's going off.
Now he's going to have to leave. Coach Lorenzo Williams wants a further explanation, but the rule is simple. Unless it was pulled off, the young man has to come out.
And you think if it was pulled off, it'd be a penalty?
He now has come off. Brody Inhofe will come in for at least one play. Inhofe is only a sophomore. He is 6 foot, 162 pounds. He will be flanked by a new running back as well, and that is Michael Patterson McDonald. So we'll call it 2nd and 5 at the 25-yard line. Hand off to Patterson McDonald. He actually got forward for a couple. So it's going to be a very makeable 3rd down right here for Westmore. Union playing a lot of different people up front on the defensive line. That tackle is by Leo Bustos. And it'll be 3rd down and 4. So they're going to mark it at the 26, and they'll need the 30. Graham Jr. back in the game. 4 receivers, 2 either side. He's in the shotgun. Here comes the blitz. He fires it. That ball is completed to his big tight end, and that is a 1st down. And he broke 2 tackles, 3 tackles. He's still on his feet across the 45, across the 50-yard line. He left Union tacklers left and right, and that is Zane Zielny. And he is another guy who is a D1 tight end, and he is prototype when it comes to tight end. The ball completed nicely quick. That's a 24-yard gain. However, flags down, and that is coming back. And as much as that's a break for Union, boy, you hate to see it for Zane Zielny because that, Tom, was an impressive football player.
Yeah. I didn't see the flag. I wonder if he had his knee down. I don't know.
That very much may be possible. Maybe it wasn't a flag, but it is going to be a 1st down at the 31-yard line.
That's the main thing.
Michael Graham Jr. once again in that shotgun. He's going to run it straight up the middle, jumps to his left and forwards. If you've got some room, he's got some opening. He's in midfield, and now it's a foot race, but that race might go to, it's going to go instead to Ashton Cunningham, who ran him down. Nice moves inside by Michael Graham Jr., and we told you earlier, he reminds us a little of Norman's quarterback from last year who kept the game completely close, really almost by himself. And Graham Jr. that time, once he made a couple of men miss, it was off to the races. But that Union defensive backfield, Ashton Cunningham, Devon Jordan, guys like that, Isaac Covington can fly, and that was impressive by Ashton Cunningham, that closing speed. That, though, good for 56 yards. Now just outside the 10, it's the 11-yard line. They'll be 1st and 10. Handoff straight up the middle, and that won't go for much, maybe about a yard. Interior, that defense is there. One of the first players there for Union, Josh Teehee. They'll give him a yard, and we'll call it 2nd down and 9.
It'll be interesting to see if they get it down there, or in a little bit, if it's 3rd or 4th down and 3 or 4, will they try to go for it, or will they kick the field goal?
Michael Patterson McDonald, now the running back. He is to the right of Graham Jr. He's asking for the call. There's 3 receivers to the right. Graham Jr. looks around, shakes his head, and just points to the right, so we'll see. There's the snap. Graham Jr. looks like he's going to take off again. Rolls to his left, still has time, being pressured. Now he takes off, and he's inside the 10, inside the 5, and he's going to go out of bounds. Looks like close to about the 2-yard line. Once again, he is very, very shaky. Isaac Covington, I think, the last guy to push him out of bounds, but Union just could not quite get him down. Trey Barnes was trying to slow play him in the backfield, but Trey had to eventually commit, and once he did, Graham Jr. is going to be able to run around him, and that's exactly what he did. So it's 1st and goal, just inside the 1 now for Westmore. They trail 21-0, but threatening. Graham Jr. going to run straight forward again and dances easily into the end zone, and that's a touchdown. And that's what we worried about, Tom, for this Westmore football team, is Michael Graham Jr. is dangerous, but it wasn't just him, it was Zane Zielny as well. And what you saw right there, these are really good football players, both sides, but a lot of broken tackles.
Oh, yeah, and good athletes. That's the only it's not even an upside, but the only thing, we got 2:43 left to come back and try to score again.
And Union will get the ball to start the second half.
That's right.
Now a field goal, or pardon me, the extra point addition will be tried. And Jacob Weba is going to try the extra point here for Westmore. He's a pretty slight young man, a left footer. There's the ball, the kick. And that's a pretty nice kick, but it hit the upright and bounces back, and it would be good, they said. So that must have bounced straight down. It hit the upright, and looks like it bounced straight down, so maybe it bounced straight down and through. So it will be good, and it'll be 21-7 Union. So what do you have to say here? Well, you got to tackle. I mean, that really is about as much as you can say, right?
Yeah, it's first game type things. The tackling isn't where it needs to be. A lot of things aren't where they need to be, and you got to take care of it.
So let's get an update from Jeff Johns on the sideline about these water breaks. Jeff?
Well, guys, I talked to Dan Newman about these water breaks that we're seeing, and apparently there's not necessarily a rule as to how often or how many of them there need to be. It's up to the officials to decide when they feel like the players need water breaks, and so far we've seen a couple of them already.
And, of course, we've seen some, looks like maybe, Tom, quite honestly, just for the officials, and that's fine, too. And that does make some sense. And as a matter of fact, really quickly, right back down to Jeff, because he had an offensive update,
Well,
Jeff.
if you're wondering what you're going to see from the offense, you can expect a lot more of the same, a lot more running and a lot more underneath passes. Coach Dub Maddox was just telling us, guys, they are obviously worried about the pass over the top. They're putting a safety over the top and making sure that Union does not have those deep guys open.
All right, so you're looking at more running game and a little bit more up that middle. So thank you very much, Jeff, for those sideline reports. That drive, 7 plays, 80 yards, took 3 minutes and 11 seconds, and Michael Graham Jr.'s 1-yard run. And the extra point kick makes it 21-7 Union. So still a battle going on here. And once again, kicking off, this will be Jacob Weba. Ball set at the 40-yard line. Union has stacked players back. One of those is Devon Jordan, and the other is Ashton Cunningham, who just showed us tremendous speed. That is a very deep ball. Cunningham's going to gather in at the 3, and here he goes. He got away at the 20, and he barrels forward to the 30-yard line. Cunningham, who has great speed, I thought might cut back to the middle of the field, Tom. And instead, he saw a guy, put his head down and said, no, I think I'll try to run him over anyway. And he just plowed right into Dejon Gaines. But that is a 28-yard return, and Union will be all set up. So the Redhawks will go back on offense, 2.5 to go, just over that in this first half. And now Union hoping to add to that lead, plus they get the ball to start the second half.
Yeah.
Jordan Schelling, the single setback. He is to the right of Shaker Rising. Fake handoff, throw to the inside. That ball is low, but it's a nice reach and catch by Boston Carrasco. Now, will the officials say he brought it in? They will. That's a very nice job by Carrasco. That ball had to be low. Shaker knew that, and he got down there and got it, was able to corral it, and that's a gain of 7. We'll call it 2nd and 7. That's a good throw, and that's a really good catch.
Well, outstanding catch. Really, and that's tough.
You haven't heard much about Carrasco. He's a 5'11", 180-pound junior. He will come to the right this time. 2 out to the left. Now Schelling shifts to the left on this second down and about 3.5 or 4. Here comes pressure. Rising's going to have to hurry, and they're going to take him down. Shaker Rising had early pressure, and that came actually off the corner from Dwayne Bumpus. He got help from Tanner Falwell, and he goes down. And, you know, Coach told us in his office on Tuesday, this group will send blitzers every play. And with a young offensive line, you have a lot to handle. Sometimes they'll just send more than you're blocking with. And sometimes it's that guard tackle situation of check and slide. And if you're young and you haven't done that a lot, you don't do it, you're going to create some gaps.
You hope to get a first down here, because then possibly you'll run the clock out for the half.
Otherwise, it's 3rd down and 11 now for Union. You'll need a 40 for the first down. Rising back, looking, firing. That ball is caught left side, but it's not going to quite be the first down. That was an incredible throw, considering the coverage was there, and he just burned that thing into Braylon Danzy. Danzy made the catch. They're going to mark it at the 38, and this is going to be 4th down and 2. We got a really interesting situation here. There's 1 minute and 6 seconds to go in the half. And I say interesting, the conservative thing and kind of the by-the-books thing to do would be punt this ball away here. However, many things can happen on a punt. We've seen that tonight already from Westmore. Ball goes over your head, bad snap. Somebody comes free accidentally. These special teams are in their first game just like these offenses and defenses. Plus, you've got very dangerous return teams here for Westmore. Some of these guys can fly. So the normal things punt this thing away, but I'm sure Union at least had to think about it.
It looks like they're going to punt it.
Well, they're having quite a conversation with Miles Davis about what to do here. Let's see if Westmore brings pressure or if they focus more on the return. The man going back deep to return this is Michael Patterson McDonald, and he showed a little get and go as a running back here not long ago. He's standing way back at his 20. Meanwhile, Davis back at his 22. Good snap. He got it away, and it's going to hit in front of Patterson. and it's going to roll, and he's going to try to pick it up, and he got smacked, and Union picks up the football, and it's inside the 5. That was just a poor play on the part of Michael Patterson McDonald, and he gives Union an absolute golden chance. 3rd turnover of the game the Red Hawks were able to take advantage of, and it's Union's football. They'll mark it. Let's see where. And Patterson McDonald just went down, I think. I think that's him. He got hit pretty good when he tried to pick that thing up. Still haven't seen exactly where they're going to mark it. I think around, Tom, was it going to be about the 7? No, back at the 11.
11. There it is. I see it now.
Helmet off, and that is Patterson McDonald who is laying down. It looks like just a cramp, though. The way he's turning and writhing, yeah, I think it's a cramp. He can have a cramp all day. I don't think it's going to keep him from getting yelled at. 52 punt, so that was a really nice punt. And the good thing is it hit well in front of the returner, and he had a really nice roll. And Union's return team's doing a very nice job of being there. I did not see, Tom, did you see who recovered that?
No, I did not. I'm sorry, I did not.
Well, it will be Union's football, and with 54 seconds to go in this half and up 21-7, plus getting the ball to start the second half, the Red Hawks have an opportunity to make a little hay here.
Oh, yeah, they can.
Ashton Fowler, thank you very much, Andy Irwin. You can hear him in the. We're one big family here, this Union thing. Andy's in the back. Andy's got camera help out there, all kinds of things, and we got help. Normally on the sideline at home, we'd be able to talk immediately to Jeff Johns, but in a hermetically sealed press box, you can't do that. These windows will repel, radio signals, nuclear blasts, things like that. That's why you hear very little sound, because you just can't get much sound out of these booths, but it is nice and air conditioned in here. So it'll be 1st and 10 for Union at the 11-yard line. Same really starting spot Westmore had just a few minutes ago on the other end. Handoff, nope, it's a fake inside, throwing to the left side. What a catch! That ball was caught. Holy cow, Brendan McQueen turned around, and he was covered, and I mean covered, by Colton Bennett. A perfect back shoulder throw from Shaker Rising, a fantastic fake, and Brendan McQueen turns and makes a guarded, difficult catch, and now a 27-7 lead. And Tom, that's just good football. That's
awesome, and it's the only place he could have thrown it, because if he'd have tried to throw it, over the shoulder, outside or something, he'd have been out of bounds. That was an excellent throw, excellent catch.
McQueen with great concentration, because Bennett was all over him and actually had a hand in front of him. Extra point for Scarborough is good. So 49 seconds to go in this half, and Union extends the lead to 28-7. So after blocking the punt and not getting anything out of it, and getting a couple of turnovers that they couldn't turn a lot of points into, Union this time turns the fumble into a one-play touchdown drive and a 28-7 lead, plus an opportunity to take the ball to the second half. Now remember, this is, we're early in the season, but anytime you start talking about overall scores, there'll be a time when you start hearing about district points.
Yes.
And that's one of the things coaches want these players used to, and that is the fact that you're trying to establish district points for standings and home field advantages and those kinds of things. So don't be surprised if you see these starters stay out there quite a bit, because also in this first game, you need all the work you can get right now for Broken Arrow next week.
Yeah, absolutely. And you got to have the attitude, and it's got to start the second half with that same attitude and carry in as far as they're going to play you.
And Broken Arrow tomorrow night will have one of the Bentonville directional schools, and we'll see how they do tomorrow night. Owasso Bixby, last score we had was 14-0 in the Battle of the Burbs, and that was Bixby who was up very, very early. We'll check that score again here in a moment. 28-0 now. We see the Spartans up on Owasso. Union will kick it off. Ball set at the 40-yard line. This one will go right to Patterson McDonald, and here he comes at the 10-yard line. 15, got some room at the 15, but he's tripped across the 20, and he goes down right at the 25-yard line. You got to give him credit now. He was motoring straight forward. And actually, that wasn't Ashton McDonald. That was Jaden Hunter who decided to put the coals to that one. The touchdown drive for Union, drive as it was, one play, 11 yards, 6 whole seconds it took for Shaker Rising to find Brendan McQueen in the end zone with the extra point, making it now 28-7.
It'll be interesting to see what Westmore, are they going to try to go deep and try to get behind, get up there when maybe they could possibly kick the field goal or something, or are they just going to hand it off and go into the half with it, what it is.
Well, you also have to wonder about them worrying about turnovers and those kinds of things. But we'll see. Graham Jr. has been by far more deadly with his legs than anything else. 1st and 10 for Westmore at their own 25-yard line. Graham Jr. back. Here comes pressure, and can he get away? He does. Rolls to his left. He's going to fire that ball, and it looks like it's caught around the 38-yard line.
Yep.
And that was a terrific throw, terrific job of him getting out of there, and a really great catch in there by Jaden Hunter. He had to go dig that thing out, and he was able to do so. So it goes from the 25 all the way to the 38-yard line. That's a gain of 13, and it's 1st and 10. 31 seconds now in the half. Moore Jr. Here comes pressure again off the edge. He's rolling to his right, fires again, and that is nearly intercepted. Isaac Covington was half a step away from making 6 more on the board right there. He stepped in front of the big tight end, Zane Zielny, and that is good defensive play calling. Somebody knew that was coming, too. And Isaac just not quite there. I think, Tom, he might have been able to go ahead and catch it, but maybe eyes on the end zone.
Yes. It could have been he took him off. Yeah, you're right.
But that is a tremendous amount of coverage. 2nd and 10. We'll see whether they do it again. Moore Jr. straight back once again, and again, here comes pressure. Firing down the middle. That ball is caught. Oh, boy, what a nice throw. And it's caught in there by Meshaw Graham. Union is saying he dropped it. The officials are saying no, he hung on. J.T. Frederick, one of the guys there at the end, but that moves it all the way up to the 35-yard line of Union now. And here comes Westmore. Jaguars on the move. Graham Jr. again in the shotgun. Once again a fake. Now he's got pressure, and this time he will not get away. Well, he did. He actually threw the ball late. Zane Zielny had to go off his hands, and Zielny dropped it and then went and grabbed it again second bounce counts. Yeah. But I'm afraid not. That'll stop the clock with 5 seconds to go. It'll be 2nd and 10, and we'll have one more play in this half.
If I'm in that secondary, I'm backing up.
Look to be playing a bit of an umbrella here. Got J.T. Frederick back right now around the 18-yard line, but likely will move backward. Ball's at the 34-yard line. This will be the final play, or should be the final play of the half. 28-7 Union. Michael Graham Jr. with Matthew Evans to his left. Here comes pressure. He's going to roll to his right, keep rolling. He's going to fire, and that ball's going to go well out of bounds, and that will be the half. So Union holds on defensively, and now they will get the ball to start the second half. Someone from Union, I think it was Isaiah Forbes, ran by Zane Zielny and said something. And Zielny just almost lost his mind and tried to chase Isaiah Forbes off the field. One of Zielny's teammates grabbed him, and he went back toward the Union sideline. Then he was gesturing wildly toward Union, and he's still walking that way. And the officials need to be careful here, as the entire Westmore football team is walking that direction. And Union is stopping now as they leave the field, and there need to be coaches in between this. There are.
Yeah.
And to give Westmore credit, their coaching staff came over. The Union staff's over there as well. Something was said, and Zane Zielny just almost went nuts. And he's yelling and screaming at the official. Now, Westmore has to go off on the same side. So the Westmore coaching staff held them off, and now the Redhawks are off. Now the Jaguars go off as well. So it is 28-7 Union, and we'll allow the stream to run here at the half in a moment. But quickly, let's take a look at some of the halftime stats and some thoughts here. Total yards in this game, 199 for Union, but 168 for Westmore. They had a tremendous second period. Individually, Shaker Reisig is 14 of 18 for 116 yards and 2 touchdowns. He has a completion rate right now of 78%, and his quarterback rating is a not bad 168.6.
Yep. Yep, I'd say he did all right. Yeah, absolutely.
Can you get 10 more of that out there at some place in there? Michael Graham Jr. is 5 of 12 for 83 yards. Not a great percentage, but the young man has played very well running the football. He has 10 carries for 69 yards. He's averaging almost 7 a carry. Rushing for Union, Schelling has 9 carries for 44 yards and a score. Perry Spite, 10 carries, 42 yards, and Shaker 4 carries for -3. On the receiving side, this is what's really tremendous. This is you've got some guys who are coming back. You've got the Geno Boyds of the world coming back, and some other guys who have caught footballs. Lane Wood's playing mostly defense this year. There's a little bit over there. But listen to the numbers on receiving. Brendan McQueen has 3 catches for 24 yards and a touchdown. Geno Boyd, 3 catches for 18 yards. Perry Spite, 2 catches for 26. Schelling, 2 catches for 9. Logan Henry, 1 catch for 13. Dylan Baldridge, 1 catch for 10 and a touchdown. Braylon Danzy, 1 catch for 9. And Boston Carrasco, 1 catch for 7. That's 8 different guys catching the football.
He spread it out. He spread it around.
I think you have done all right. There's no doubt. 4 different players catching balls for Westmore. The leader, Jaden Hunter, 2 catches for 31 yards. Anything else that jumps off when you take a look at the stats? Union averaging 4.9 yards a play, but Westmore averaging 5.2 yards a play. Union at 3.6 a rush, Westmore at 4.6, and of course the big running play by Michael Graham Jr. is the really biggest part of that. Time of possession is very close as well. It's 12:42 Union, 11:18 for Westmore, so they're doing a good job of trying to keep that close. But here's the biggest stat and by far of the game: 4 turnovers for Westmore, 4 fumbles, 4 fumbles. 3 of those go to Union.
Yeah.
And 2 of those responsible for scores. So that's really the thing that has kind of turned this game sideways. So it is 28-0 Union here at the half. We'll let the stream run. We'll be back with the second half in a moment here from Union High School, or pardon me, from Moore High School, but tonight Westmore using the field. 28-7 Union, back in a moment.
At Coldwell Banker Select, we have the group to meet your commercial real estate needs, the Select Commercial Group. David Roberts can answer all your questions relating to the commercial real estate market, your business operations, and real estate budgets. Sarah Bergeson can help you locate the right commercial property to buy, sell, lease, or rent. Scott Job can provide valuable information regarding property values and lease rates. We treat our clients like family. With properties located all over the state, call us at 918-695-6979. Coldwell Banker Select Commercial Group, proud sponsor of the Union High School Redhawks.
Summer heats up and your AC isn't working right, be cautious of being pressured into a replacement.
It's always a good idea to get a second opinion, and Airco will let you know if your AC is worth fixing.
So call Airco today for a free second opinion.
Does your school or organization need athletic apparel or spirit wear? Let me suggest Inkwell, a Tulsa-based company that can get you the quality you deserve at unheard of and unmatched lead time. Talking 2 weeks or less, not 2 months like most others, and can do it as much as 60% less than most of the big guys out there. So join the likes of Sand Springs, Union, Broken Arrow, Jinx, Oolaga, and Glenpool, to name a few, and get your customized sublimated uniforms, including Under Armour, Nike, or Adidas at InkwellNation.com.
The right way to top a sub is with real red wine vinegar made from red grapes and no food coloring. And the right way to film it is in slow motion. Obviously. Because authentic ingredients make a sub a bob.
Racing towards the end of the month? Ask about our early pay options. TTCU Federal Credit Union. Life is better in balance.
We're athletes.
Coaches.
In your child's high school athletic training. For your friends and neighbors.
And we make our
home in green country.
Like you, we run.
And fish.
Hike.
And bike.
We enjoy the mountains.
and lakes. So we know how important
staying active is to you. Staying active is to you.
We're physicians
and therapists.
Our groundbreaking treatments
are helping you heal faster.
Helping you heal faster.
We're Advanced Orthopedics of Oklahoma.
And we're the team physicians for more universities,
more high schools,
and more club teams
than all other providers combined.
We're focused on providing you
personalized orthopedic care.
Personalized orthopedic care.
Treating the area's best teams.
And the athlete in all of us.
And the athlete in all of us.
set. Trail versus Westmore. Hey, NPS community, it's no surprise that Moore Public Schools has done it again. Through the incredible work of 35 school sites and our outstanding community partners, NPS set a new Moore Road fundraising total this last spring. Combined, we raised more than $375,000 that is now at work for our select nonprofits. Huge thanks to our platinum donors, Omni Construction, Gold Family Fund, David Stanley Chevrolet, the Asa Ribbon Partnership, Dillingham Insurance, Norman Regional Health System, Prostar Funeral Club, and Mazzio's Pizza. Every More Love donation makes a positive and lasting impact on nonprofit teams that build up our communities with services that extend to more public schools. We are so grateful for our students, their families, and our community partners. Thank you.
Look at Moore High School Stadium. Actually, it's Moore Stadium overall. There's a reason there is no logo in the middle of this field. Welcome back as we are at the half of Union and Westmore. That guy who just said yeah over there is Tom Stockton. I'm Rick Corey along with us. Jeff Johns down on the sidelines. Richard Johns here. And, of course, as well, Andy Irwin and that UView crew who are here. You can catch us on the Union Sports Network. tell your friends, unionsportsnetwork.com, you'll be able to find us. So back to the stadium for a minute. All the more schools play here, which is become at this point a little unusual in this area, Tom, because as we were just talking, there was a time, and I don't want to go back to in my day kind of a thing, but there was a time when there was one Edmond, there was one Moore, there was one Putnam City, and you name it. And now there are multiple schools. Oklahoma City broke them up. There has been for many years a discussion about how Oklahoma City's West Side schools would be just as good as the East Side if they weren't broken up.
Yeah.
And they keep pointing at Broken Arrow and Union and saying, look at the size of the number of students there. And that's when they started breaking these Oklahoma City schools up, and there's been no indication that'll happen on the East Side. But what started happening here is you have 3 different schools and you have one stadium. Well, what happens is somebody plays on Thursday, somebody plays on Friday, and somebody plays away, or somebody, once we started 0 week, would have an off week and have an opportunity to not play. Well, with Moore, there is only the one stadium. So that's why Union is opening on a Thursday night here. And then we'll close the season by going 3 straight times to Edmond, close with 3 Edmond schools, with a couple of trips down the Turnpike. But they have split up. They still play at UCO, but also in their own stadium as well over in Edmond. Now, you were saying you thought someone told you they might build another Moore stadium.
Yeah, somebody was saying they were, they were close. One, I don't know if it was the Southmore or one of them was not only thinking about it. I thought somebody was telling me that there's already some work going on for it.
Well, there might be, as we said, 3 schools here. There's Southmore, Westmore, and Moore. Now, this stadium, the good thing about this stadium is it's very, very easy to get to. It is right off of Highway 35.
Yeah.
You literally are just a couple of blocks away from 35, and you can scoot back up on north and catch the Turnpike and make that Turner Turnpike drive back home. It's 28-7 here at the half, and I would say the way to characterize the Red Hawks' first half is a little bit, let's say, I wouldn't say unsettled, but it certainly didn't fire on all cylinders.
Yeah, and I'd say maybe a bit inconsistent. When they were good, it was pretty good. When they, there was just too many mistakes or I don't know, but it is the first game, and they are playing a lot of new kids. So
you're talking about an almost entirely new offensive line.
Oh,
and you do have, you're missing the Grayson Tempests of the world, the DJ McKinneys of the world, and those guys, alone, you're missing around 84% of your offense overall total outside Shaker Rising, and I'm talking about receiving and rushing yards. So, as I said when we started the game, you're missing 1,489 yards on the ground and 23 touchdowns just between 2 players.
Yeah.
And that was DJ McKinney and Grayson Tippis. Grayson now playing at the University of Tulsa. And then you look out on the receiving side, you're minus 1,208 yards and 8 touchdowns. And that's just, again, amongst a couple of guys, just 2 players, and you start adding in the others. Now, you have heard and seen today really good things from Brendan McQueen, who has the nice touchdown catch with a great amount of attention to bring that thing in. Boston Carrasco had a really nice catch on his part. Braylon Danzy has had a nice catch. And, of course, Gino Boyd is Gino Boyd, and he's going to go catch a lot of footballs. One thing you won't see is as much Lane Wood on offense. Lane Wood last year, one of those folks, there were a good number of tight ends last year. Lane was one of those, and he had several plays, especially late in the year. But he's going to play mostly linebacker. That's new to him, too. So when you talk about that new offensive line, you're also breaking in new running backs. Jordan Schelling has split time so far with Tavion Ferry-Spite. Both guys playing well, but it's not the dynamic that you had with DJ McKinney.
No.
And so that's a little different. Then you flip it over to defense, entirely new linebacking crew. Lane Wood, one of those. And is he capable? Absolutely, but it's a new position to him. So when the game speed gets here, no matter how many previews you played in or how many practices, you have to catch up to that. Same thing in that defensive line. You're missing about 320 pounds at your nose guard spot, who's now at Vanderbilt. He's having his lunches in Nashville. And so you're missing some of that and some of the other defensive linemen. So there are some new things. Now, this is a very fast football team. You saw that when, you had a breakaway by Michael Graham Jr., the quarterback, and Ashton Cunningham ran him down like a missile. So you got that. And actually, Kirk Frederick told us, and he told us last year, he said, this is one of our faster teams. And he told us this team's faster.
Yes.
So they aren't as big. You're not going to see that. You're not going to see the 300-pounders across the offensive line. Jesse Jones is 290. Antonio Ole Anderson's 290. Jesus Ramirez is 275. Harlem Henry, best name in football, is 305 pounds. And by the way, lost 75 pounds just to get there And Coach said has been one of the more dedicated players and one of the better stories of their camp. And then Larry Simons is around 290. So these guys, they're just a cupcake short of 300. But they're not the 310, 315, 320s that you've had in the past. So it is a different group, and you have to catch up to that. It's also different when it comes to kicking. Isaiah Forbes will punt some. Miles Davis has kicked and punted some. You're looking at a different group out there, and they have to catch up to that too. Now, Lane Wood's your deep snapper, so you have that, and you always say that's going to be a bright spot. But it's been uneven for Union at 28-7. Still enough bright spots to lead, and that's what you care about. They will get the ball to start the second half. Certainly expect the starters to stay out there because right now, Tom, you need to work because next week it's Broken Arrow.
Yeah, and the other thing, with all everything you were saying was absolutely correct. But I think one of the things is Westmore has really good athletes, and Fred said that the other day that they had good athletes, and so it just becomes much more difficult. It's your first game. It's your first thinking of what's going on offense, what's going on defense, and yet you're facing a team that has some darn good athletes.
They've had some move-ins, as we mentioned. Michael Patterson McDonald, I think he's the OU commit. There are several Division I commits on this football team, and some of those were guys who moved in. Southmore had a very difficult season last year. Some of those kids moved over here. And now, honestly, as much as we complain about trying to keep up with college football because of the transfer portal, you're kind of having to do the same thing in high school. And remember, in high school, the rule is you can, as a freshman, go where you want to go. You can make that decision to leave your home district and go somewhere else. Once you do that, that becomes your home district. Now you can't transfer again. You can move. And believe me, high schools, which for years were accused of recruiting, are very careful to make sure that someone actually moves. This is not a one parent goes and gets an apartment in another district and that counts. They don't allow that kind of stuff anymore. So these players that are moving, and you're hearing it, as a matter of fact, Kirk Frederick told us, Shaker Rising is not good for competition. That's all there is to it. If you're a quarterback, unless you're a freshman, sophomore, you're not going to move to this district. However, 4 quarterbacks moved out of this district to other places because, again, Shaker Rising scared him off. Now, he's playing like the player he is. He is 14 of 18 for 116 yards and 2 touchdowns. He is doing everything you would ask him to do, and he's not part of the uneven performance. I can tell you that. That has to do with the fact that it is just a lot of new players in a first year. Now, we are also keeping an eye on the Battle of the Burbs happening in H.A. Chapman Stadium. Not sure what the crowd is over there. We do know at the half it's 28-0 Bixby.
Oh.
Now, that Bixby football team, every guy in that defensive backfield is now playing Division I football. And yet they replaced every one of them. They replaced the Haas brothers, and they're up 28-0.
Yeah.
That tells you, once again, that Lauren Montgomery's machine rolls forward, and that tells the rest of the state, a Bixby team that hasn't lost a state championship since just after dirt was invented, will be that kind of good once again. Now, Bill Blankenship's team last year lost the opening game pretty significantly and then improved so tremendously to beat Union in that 6 overtime game. So, don't sleep on anybody in 6A1. It's going to be quite a year.
Yeah, absolutely. And it just changes almost, well, it's not going to change that Bixby and some of them are really, really good. What is going to change is what people are going to be on the cup of being able to, get there to the finals and do this and that. And I think Union has the talent. They just got to get the experience.
Well, and you saw last year where Jinx actually beat Bixby and ended that winning streak, and you think, all right, well, okay, there's the formula. Well, no, that's that night.
Yeah.
As we've always said, it's not the best team, it's the best team that night. And Jinx was a good football team. Bixby proved later on that they were still the better football team overall, and they became the state champions again. So Union will receive the football. Westmore will kick off, and now it doesn't, this East-West Stadium, it's nighttime here. So as you're watching here on the Union Sports Network at unionsportsnetwork.com, you're seeing them kick from east to west. Union has 2 players back deep. Devon Jordan is one of those. Isaac Covington had been the other at one point, and instead that one's going to go toward Devon and well into the end zone. It won't matter, and Union will have it at the 25-yard line. So what do you think offensively at the half? What do you think they talked about? Consistency up front?
Yeah, consistency. And, it seems like a few times, and that is up front, but it seems like a few times Reisig got a lot of pressure on him before he could even find the receiver.
And this Westmore team will bring pressure, and I mean bring pressure. They're going to bring somebody on almost every play and try to have just more than you can block. Shaker Reisig will bring him out at the 25-yard line. He'll have Jordan Schelling offset to his left. Both in the shotgun, 3 receivers, 2 on the right side. We're going to get underway for the second half. 28-7 Union. Fake inside, quick throw out to Carrasco. Makes a nice move with the 25, gets across the 30 to the 32-yard line. Dragged down by 2 players out there for Westmore. One of the guys on that tackle is Keenan Estelle. The other guy getting up a little bit more slowly is Matthew Evans, who also plays running back. But that's a nice gain of 12 yards and a first down. And again, that release by Shaker Reisig is just so fast. Yeah. Even if a defensive back knows it's coming, it's going to be hard to make a run on that.
Oh, that's a perfect example of that one right there.
First and 10 now at the 32-yard line. Carrasco in motion. They're going to toss it inside to him. Little Utah sweep, if you will. And he tried to bend it back to the outside, and he broke a tackle and broke another, and he's going to go forward maybe for 2 around the 34-yard line. But he was hit by about half that team before Connor Kavner got him down. That's a long way to go for 2 yards, but he did it. Boston Carrasco looks like he might be a guy who adds to this offense, Tom.
Oh, absolutely. And we're going to find that. I really do believe next couple of games we'll be adding someone to that comment that so-and-so looks like it, so-and-so looks like it, because they do have talent, and they've just got to get a little experience.
Second down and 8. Once again, Schelling to the left. Hand to Schelling up the middle. Got a lot of room. Schelling across the 40. Has the first down and is tripped up. Boy, it's a nice, if you will, ankle tackle. Going right to his ankle was Michael Patterson McDonald. He flipped him right about the 47-yard line, but that's a gain of 13, and it's another first down for the Redhawks, and we want a little consistency offensively. Here you have it.
Yep, absolutely, and it's a great way to come out and start this, is running the football, throwing short passes, and just moving the football and running the clock.
At the 47-yard line, Union now will roll Shaker Reisig to the left. He looks. He's going to fire deep. Got a guy down there. That's McQueen. He makes the catch. That's going to be right at the 26-yard line. And that was, again, a perfectly thrown ball. It was back shoulder just out of the reach of Keenan Estelle, and that's good for another first down, and that was another perfect Shaker Reisig throw.
And he threw it on the run. Didn't even stop to throw it like that. He threw it on the run. It was outstanding.
So in other words, we think the guy might be able to play. I think he may have a future. 28 yards on that reception, throw and catch. They're going to mark it right at the 25, and it'll be first and 10 there. Just underway, third period, 28-7 Union, and you could tell there was some direction and some drawings and maybe some encouragement at the half. Quick throw by inside, and once again, catch inside. Boy, what a nice throw and catch. McQueen made a snatch. That ball sailed, through, it looked like, the hands of a Westmore defender, but it was thrown so quickly and with such velocity that only Brendan McQueen could catch it. He did, and they'll take it down to the 14-yard line, and that's another first down for Union, averaging well over 10 yards a snap on this drive.
You know, when you listen to Dub Maddox say this might be the best thrower he's ever coached, that means something. He's coached so many good ones.
Oh, I'd be hard-pressed to find one better. Reisig back again in the shotgun, fires left side. That is incomplete. Trying to go to his tight end, Miles Davis. He was well covered. There were a group of Jaguars around him. Once again, Connor Kavner, who's been a little bit of everywhere. Mari Perry was in that area as well. And it'll be second down and 10, and that's the first play in this drive that wasn't doggone near 10 yards plus. So now a lot of things are working for you, but you do have a second and 10. But you are at the 14-yard line of Westmore. Schelling again set to his left. No tight ends here. Hand off inside Schelling. A lot of room. Oh, and there's a whistle blown. Looks like maybe a delay of game. No, it's a procedure penalty. Schelling had room and burst off that right side and looked like, Tom, he might even have a chance to score, but I'm not sure if that's because Westmore held up because of the flag.
Yeah.
And as you would expect, it's a first game. You get a few of those procedure penalties, and you just had a couple. Not a lot, actually, but a couple. Fourth procedure penalty. More than I thought. Once again, thank God Richard can count and I can't. So they'll move it back to around the 19-yard line. It'll be second down and 15 for you. Rising, fakes to the middle, looks, going to throw to the end zone. That ball is well overthrown. Looked like maybe a choice route with Brendan McQueen. Brendan went to the inside. Shaker threw it to the outside, and it'll be 3rd down and 15. So, many times in the stands, you look at the quarterback and say, what the heck are you doing? Well, in this case, that might be, and I'm not sure, that might also just be a bust by somebody, but it looks like maybe a choice route, and one thought one and one thought the other. So it'll be 3rd and 15, certainly probably 4th down territory here. Tavion Perry Spite now the running back. We're going to toss inside that little Utah sweep again. He's got room. He's inside the 15, pushes toward the 10, but he won't quite get there. I think closer to about the 11-yard line. He is ushered down there by a group of red shirt-wearing Jaguars, including Devin McCoy. And it's going to be 4th down and about 7. So we're going to mark it at the 11. They need right at the 4, and Union will go for it. Up 28-7. Why not? 3 receivers, 2 to the right. Perry Spite, the running back, left side. Now he goes in motion. Shaker. Football, throws left side. That ball to Braylon Danzy, and it is caught for a touchdown. Braylon Danzy hand fighting in the corner with Dwayne Bumpus and doing a really nice job of not pushing off, but getting good position. And then, well, guess what? Number 4 put it the only place it could to be caught. It is, and on a 4th down and goal play, it's 34-7. That's pretty much how you draw up a drive.
That's a great way to start the second half or anything with that kind of drive.
Scarborough on for the extra point. Snap, hold, kick is up, and it is good. So with 7.5 to go in this 3rd period, Union uses almost exactly half the third quarter to get another touchdown. Their lead now 35-7. This is Union Red Hawk football on the Union Sports Network. So 35-7, Union up now. Halfway finished with this 3rd period, and Westmore has yet to touch the football. A tremendous drive by Union. They took that kickoff and really looked methodical there. Did have the one procedure penalty, but that's it. Otherwise, that's a pretty picture-perfect 9-play drive in 80 yards, 3 minutes and 16 seconds. Braylon Danzy, you can see it was isolated to his left, the 11-yard catch, and the extra point by Scarborough. We're at 35-7. I think, again, that's kind of how you want to draw that up.
Oh, absolutely. You can't draw it up any better. That's for sure.
Now, Westmore did have some success running the football. Let's see exactly what they do as we come back here. Miles Davis will kick this thing off. Ball at the 40-yard line. Miles approaches. It's going to go right about the 5-yard line. It will be returned right there to the 10-yard line, 15-yard line. Once again, that is Mishaw Graham. Got some room at the 25, jumps inside one man, still on his feet. 30-yard line, 35-yard line, and around the 40-yard line is where he's taken down. Several Red Hawks, Dejon Gaines, one of the guys there. Also had some help in there from, I believe that was Cyrus Burris. And it'll be a first down right there at the 40-yard line. 36 yards on the return, and again, Coach Davis, who's been a longtime special teams coach at Union, I'm sure we'll have some discussion about that one.
Yeah, and I think one of the things, it's very important that you have good tacklers and this type of thing if you're not going to put it in the end zone.
And that's something Union kind of had going for them the last year, especially late in the year. 1st and 10 for Westmore. Jaguars at their own 40-yard line, trailing 35-7. Michael Graham Jr. alone in the backfield. He'll take it himself, runs to his left, and he is dragged down. And that, I think, is a face mask. Yeah, they saw that one as well.
Yeah, that twisted his head off.
Yeah, that one will be the 15-yarder, I guarantee you. Donovan Pennington is the guy who looked like grabbed a hold of that face mask. And not certainly on purpose, just the young man is running by and you reach out and grab it and you have a tendency just to grab. And Donovan will leave, and I'm sure be be talked to about that. But, you know, Tom, it's so instinctual. You reach back, the guy runs by, your hand goes on something, you close the hand, and you could tell it immediately. Donovan released his hand and threw his hands up, and he knew what was happening.
Oh, yeah. Well, once you grab on and the guy's running, it's hard to release it. It's not like you just barely get it. You're hanging on to it for a second.
So that'll take it all the way down to the 45-yard line of Union. And we will have a first down for the Jaguars right there. And the clock has yet to move. We are at 7:35 to go in this third period. So we'll do it again. Michael Graham Jr. looks like he has been able to twist his helmet back so he's not looking out the ear hole. And he has a first and 10. Quick snap, quick throw to the left, and that one bounces in incomplete. That one was kind of a worm burner. That's one of the harder balls to throw, and you'll hear broadcasters and people tell you that, and it doesn't look like it's a long way. That is a long way from the crown of the field to that sideline, and you have to be so careful with that ball. You deliver it too high, you give defensive backs time to get down there, and this Union team is so fast. So that ball has to be on a line, and if you try to throw it on the line many times, it'll just duck and die. Plus, at that point, Michael Graham Jr. didn't turn himself and really get good and square, so he threw that kind of with his shoulders out of place. So it's 2nd and 10. Going to hand off inside, and that is Jaden Williams, and he is stacked up for no gain. I mean, he got absolutely nowhere. There's been some success inside tonight for Westmore, but not right there. And the bottom of that pile was Ezekiel Palos, who's a 250-pounder, and has played nicely tonight. Up a little slowly and then back down for Union is Ashton Fowler. Yep, he's in pretty severe pain, and I think from the motion he just made, he may have taken a shot to a spot you don't want to take a shot. He's now up and dancing, and I don't blame him. Now he's back down, now he's up. Yeah, I'm sorry, young man, the stretching you're doing is not going to help. No. This is going to have to just go away on its own. Yep, that's an undesired area to take a hit. That's all I'll say.
No comment.
That is the best thing you've done tonight. I just mean in that particular situation, it's best to let that one go. Yeah, he'll go off and take a few very deep breaths, see if he can get his voice back down 2 or 3 octaves, and then we will get back into this game. Yeah, it was pretty easy to tell right there. They're going to go ahead and take advantage of this with a water break, and they've done this multiple times. Now with the sun down, I'm sure, and we'll have Jeff John send us a report from the sidelines, I'm sure with the sun down, things have gotten a little bit better when it comes to, the temperature. It's still 90 degrees, however, the sun's down. So, I mean, just that alone makes a difference. So let's get a little bit here from Jeff. Number one, Union's going to be missing a pretty key player this half, Jeff.
The offensive coaches are going to have to make some adjustments. We just found out that Gino Boyd is out, and he will not return the rest of this game. Unspecified injury so far, but we'll let you know when we have more.
All right, so Gino Boyd, and that's why we didn't see him in the first drive. So it is now 1st and 10 for Westmore, Union's 45-yard line. Michael Graham Jr. will keep the ball once again, and he's going to go across the 45 again. He didn't get much. He got to the 44, and then he was pushed back. Isaiah Forbes part of that, and they threw him down back around the 48-yard line. But they're going to give him, I think, the 43. So we're going to call that forward progress of at least a couple of yards. But this is going to bring up a 4th down, and it's going to be a punting situation for Westmore. They will bring on Alizar Andrews, and it has been somewhat of an adventure, as I said. They had a couple of snaps, including the first one that was very high. That led to a block punt, giving Union the 26-yard line in field position, but they weren't able to do anything with it. And then they were able to pressure him, and he also had another snap that was very high. Let's see if this one goes to Andrews. And Andrews is going to run with it. He takes off at the 50-yard line. He's going to get to the 45, and that's it. So that is a brave play on the behalf of Westmore. At least brave is one way to put it. Tackle made in there by Ashton Fowler, who apparently has gotten all his important things back in position, and he makes the play. It's going to go at the 44-yard line. It'll be 1st down Union. That also would be why that was not, Gino Boyd back on that punt return. Now, the key is you got Broken Arrow next week, and it's not like it gets easier. Owasso and Jinx and many of those teams are, right down the road in the next several weeks. So you would love to have number 12 out there, and so we're going to be very interested to watch that story.
That was J.T. Frederick back all the way there. And I'll say this, he's probably very smart doing that and will catch it most of the time.
And off inside to Schelling, and he got hit right away and really got maybe a half yard. Jordan Schelling pushed past that first hit and was able to get up to around the 45-yard line. They'll give him about a half yard. Credit for that tackle to Matthew Evans. There's some other reports down there from Jeff Lask asking how the heat feels overall. It still is 90, but with no sun, that makes a huge difference out there. And we can't tell in this press box. They don't have the flags are actually really limp out there, so there must not be much breeze. We'll call it 2nd and 10. Flag out. Quick throw to the left side, and that is complete to Miles Davis, but the whistles and flags have blown ahead of time, and that's the 5th procedure penalty now on the Red Hawks. Apparently, Jeff has sent us a report. Apparently, there's something going on with sideline communication as well, Jeff.
One thing that's really fun to see on the sidelines is the communication that happens between Shaker Reisig, Dub Maddox, and some of the other offensive players. They suggest plays to him. They tell him what they're seeing, and he trusts them. He trusts them to tell them exactly what they're seeing out on the field and knows that they're going to see things a little bit differently than he does. So they point out their point of view. He points out his perspective. And they come to an understanding and figure out what they're going to do going forward. It's excellent communication.
We appreciate that, Jeff. Inside pitch, little Utah play once again. This time it goes to to Jordan Schelling, and he bursts forward all the way to the midfield mark. So it's going to be a very makeable 3rd down and 5 after a nice 2nd down gain. And you'll go with 4 receivers, 2 to either side. Schelling will stay in the game to the right side, slotted next to Reisig in the shotgun. Shaker back, quick throw left side. That's complete, and there was no way he could stop it.
Nope.
That was, once again, who else? Braylon Danzy, who's been really good tonight as well, makes the quick catch and makes the 1st down. They'll mark that down at the 40-yard line, and the Red Hawks will win.
One of the things those receivers have had to get used to, whether they played last year or whatever, is that when they run a route, plant, and turn, the ball is coming.
Yeah, you better expect it right at your face or right at your hands or right at that, whatever that catch point is.
Yes.
Because Shaker does throw many of these balls before a break. So it's 1st and 10, Redskins. The Red Hawks, man, I said I wouldn't do that this year. Red Hawks, Andy's laughing behind me. 35-0 already, Union. Fires to the middle of the field, caught by Boston Carrasco, makes a move to the inside, and he'll score. Carrasco all the way to the end zone, a fabulous throw by Reisig. He pumped once, held up, and then fired a 40-yard touchdown pass. Shaker got hit. He bops back up, but Boston Carrasco is proving he will be a weapon this year for the Red Hawks, and it's now 41-7 Union.
Hey, it looked like he almost threw that side on. I mean, not straight over the top.
He did, and it's because he had a rush coming.
Yes.
He'd already kind of adjusted around one. Shaker, if you watch in warm-ups, will practice throwing balls side.
Yeah. That's Mahomes-like.
I was going to say, it's very Mahomes-like. He doesn't, at least as of this point, Scarborough for the extra point, and it's up and good. He doesn't, at this point, have that same kind of escapability and scatter, if you will. He can't scatter around. Although we're told he does have that kind of top-end speed, and we saw him display that with a 4-yard touchdown run earlier. Shaker might be able to do some of that same kind of thing, but I can tell you, arm talent-wise, he has some of the same ability, there's no doubt, and now it's 42-7. And you have to be happy that, because if Gino Boyd's out, Boston Carrasco just steps up and just fills that void.
Yep. And now if you're Dub Maddox, now you've got a decision. Do you keep playing Shaker Reisig, or do you go with that next quarterback to give you some more than just, late 4th quarter snaps?
My guess is that you may go a series into the 4th quarter, or at least 2 to 4th quarter, but that's just a guess.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. And I hear good things. I hear good things about the backup quarterback.
So Union will kick the football away. That drive, 4 plays, 56 yards, took only a minute 22. Carrasco's catch, 40 yards from Reisig. And what a fantastic, and I do mean fantastic, jump to the inside by Carrasco to make that play. Miles Davis will be set to kick this thing off once again. Back deep will be Nishaw Graham. He's going to stand right at that 2-yard line. Ball's gone to about the 2. It's been between the 5 and 2. And Craig Frederick said, I'd sure like to go in the end zone, and I'm sure that's something Miles is working on. There's the approach. This one's kicked over the head almost to Nishaw, but he gets back and gets it around the 3. Here he comes. Across the 15, and he's tripped up right there. That's a really nice tackle in there by Ashton Fowler. Fowler got around his ankles. He could not quite escape that, and he's there. You're watching Red Hawks football on the Union Sports Network at unionsportsnetwork.com. And carry along with Coach Tom Stockton. That is 4 TD passes to 4 different receivers to Shaker Rising. So does he have a favorite yet? I say no. Although you did hear Jeff tell us earlier that Gino Boyd went out with an injury. We don't know what that injury is. We don't know how bad that is. It's not something we necessarily talk about, but it's certainly something we hope that he's able to. First and 10 now for the Jaguars at their own 17-yard line, trailing 42-7. Michael Graham Jr., the quarterback, alone in the backfield. Tight end and 4 receivers here. Graham Jr. back, kind of scooting to his left. Now fires in the middle of the field. That ball is almost intercepted. Lane Wood had it in his hands. He was trying to go to his big tight end, Zane Zielny, down around the 34-yard line. Lane got up in the air, got good hands on it, but the ball was thrown pretty hard and he couldn't hang on to it. There's also a flag down for holding. Wouldn't be surprised if Union turned this one down and just went 2nd and 10. Let's see what they decide to do. Well, they're going to mark it off. And considering Union's already blocked a punt tonight and there's been a couple of snap errors, they might just be trying to get them as close as they can back there to hope that they get another problem like that.
Yeah.
Well, that's going to bring up a first and almost Highway 35. They are back right at what? Maybe the 9? Right at the 9, and they need the 22 for the first down. Yeah. Yep, it's going to be the 9-yard line. Michael Graham Jr. once again in the shotgun alone. Union shows pressure, and here they come. And he's better hurry, and he just got rid of it. He just threw it out. He threw it away. Isaiah Forbes came like a shot off that left side. He stepped up late, and he punched Michael Graham Jr. I mean, he knocked him down, and he with a little bit of force. Graham threw the ball to the out-of-bounds line. It did go past the line of scrimmage. They're not going to call grounding on that one. There was not really anybody in the area, although Colton Bennett had not quite gotten out of the area completely, so they may allow him to be the receiver in the area, and it'll be now 2nd down. Again, they're at the 9, and they need the 22-yard line, so you do the math, that's 2nd and 23. Graham Jr. again alone, and again, Union sneaks up a bit. Quick throw to the right side this time, and that time it is complete. And Colton Bennett caught the thing, and then like an absolute bullet coming across him, that was Isaiah Forbes, and Isaiah clocked him, knocked him down. Devon Jordan was there as well. So that's going to be a gain, but not much. They'll mark him out to around, they're going to call it about the 13-yard line. We'll call it a gain of 4, and it's going to be 3rd down right there. 3rd and about 15. They're going to call it 14 on the marker, so we'll stick with that. Coming up on 4 minutes to go, 3rd quarter, 42-7 Union. Again, they sneak up and look like they're bringing pressure. And that caused a jump offside.
Yeah, Union jumped offside. The defensive people next door to us were not very happy about that.
That won't cause a ton of problem yet. It's going to go down to about the 20-yard line. Actually, not quite that. They're going to move it to just about the 18, and it's going to be 3rd down and about 9.5. Graham Jr. with the snap. Here comes the house. He got away, and he's got some room. He's going to get to the outside to his left, and he's going to get close to the first down. Not quite there. The ball hit the ground. He was tackled at around the 28-yard line. He needed more like, well, he needed right at the 28. He might have actually gone down closer to the 27. Angle-wise, it's hard to tell, but he jumped up in the air to avoid the tackle. And when he went down, he dropped the ball. But I think he dropped it after he hit the ground, Tom.
Yeah, that's what the referees are saying. Well, I guess that's what they're saying because they didn't throw any. I mean, they didn't allow for the fumble.
Now they're going to mark him back at the 22-yard line. It looks like the marker. Well, honestly, again, it's hard to tell on the angle. That marker might be right at the 22, so it's going to be really close. They're going to go ahead and measure it. The coaches were in here. What they want, Andy? Well, coaches were in here asking about stats. I'm sitting here, we're doing this, and I get a tap on my shoulder and look around. One of our coaches behind me. And as much as I'd like to, wearing headsets, I can't hear you. So I'm not quite sure what they were asking. But Andy Irwin, who's behind us here, the UU crew, actually runs the UU crew, was able to get the answers they provided or they needed. I think what they wanted was what's on your stat sheet there.
Must have been a first down.
So they will call it a first down. Yep, that's a view right there of that crew next to us. You see the crew. And there you go. You see the hands over here as we're waving in our booth as well, right next to each other, which is pretty normal. So it'll be a 1st and 10 for the Jaguars. 3:28 to go here in this third period. Graham Jr. this time will have a little company in the backfield. He's been kind of lonely back there. Hadn't had anybody with him. He's going to fake the handoff, roll to his right. Now he's going to fire it deep. He's trying to get that ball to Colton Bennett. He threw it well out of bounds. And that will fall incomplete and stop the clock. That does surprise me a little. At 42-7, look, I know that Westmore also wants to work on their offensive game plan. But you're down 42-7, and every time you throw it and it's incomplete, you're going to stop the clock and you give Union another chance. I think first game, I can understand that more. If it were game 7 and you were doing that, then you just say to yourself, hey, maybe you're not thinking this through. But in the first game, you want to get everybody work, and that looks like what Westmore is doing.
Well, not only get everybody work, but I think you want to. It helps you get in shape, both mentally and physically. So that'll, I think, enter into it also.
So it'll be 2nd down and 10. Ball right at the 27-yard line of Westmore, and now a timeout by Westmore. So we'll take one quick break here as well. It's 3:18 to go here in this third period. 42-7 Union. This is Union football on the Union Sports Network. With just over 3 minutes to go here in the third period, we are at Moore High School Stadium, which is actually Moore Stadium overall. Rick Coy along with Tom Stockton, Richard and Jeff Johns, Andy Irwin and the crew here. It is 42-7 Union leading Westmore here. And you will notice, once again, as we mentioned, there is no logo in the middle of this field. That's because all three Moore teams share the field. It's just called Moore School Stadium, or Moore High School, or Moore Stadium, I believe is exactly what they call it. And so there are no logos here. It's going to be 2nd and 10. Michael Graham Jr. is now running for his life to his right. He's got some room, though, if he chooses to run. Throws back across his body, and that is incomplete. And it's incomplete because of a really fine play late. That was Devon Jordan, who is about 19 Division I offers already, who cut in front of the receiver to knock that thing down, and it's going to be 3rd down and 10. And Devon's got closing speed. He can hit. He doesn't mind sticking his nose in. He is the complete package, and Union's had a bunch of those at defensive back lately.
Yeah, they have them. It's like they have a couple like that every year. And it's, you really got to, I'm not sure if I was head coach of what I'd be doing, but I would want to run that clock. If I'm Westmore, I would want to run that clock. But
they haven't done it in this drive. 3rd down and 10. Michael Graham Jr., here comes pressure again. He's going to roll again. He's going to get away again. He's going to point deep. He's going to fire this thing, and it's going to go well over everyone's head, incomplete. He was pointing at Misha Graham. He also had Colton Bennett down there. Neither one of those guys were able to get to it. Actually, Ashton Cunningham was the closest guy to it. And not only Is that incomplete? It brings up 4th and 10, but that entire drive may have used off the clock, Tom, maybe a minute.
Yeah,
and it
not
gives
very
Union
long.
it gives Union a lot of time left to go down and do something with this thing, and already with a 42-7 lead. So once again, the punter will come on. Alizar Andrews will kick this thing away. J.T. Frederick will be back to return the kicks. Gino Boyd is out for now. We're not quite sure why, but he's out. We just know injury. The punt got off, but it is very short. It's going to land inside midfield and bounce backwards, and it is down by Moore right about the 48-yard line. Hustling down that thing for Westmore, was Amari Perry. So Union will take over again in Westmore territory, and they've done that a lot tonight, mostly by turnover. Now, I will say this, if you're Westmore, you've gotten almost all the way through the third period and you haven't had a turnover. They fumbled 4 times in the first half. 3 of those went to Union, and I'm not making fun. I'm just saying if you can hold the ball, which Union did a nice job of stripping the ball too, especially the first turnover. One of the first turnovers was Ezekiel Palos with just a lawnmower rip to get that ball out of there. Did a nice job. Union's football now at the 38-yard line of Westmore. Just under 3 minutes to play this third period. It's 42-7. Handoff left side to Perry Spite, and he's going to plow forward, just across the 45-yard line. Tackling there by Skyrim Law. They'll give him 4, and it'll be 2nd down and 6.
It'd be interesting to see what Coach Maddox is going to do here. They haven't been able to stop us. And so if you want to work on your run game, now's a good time to do it.
Perry Spite is the running back. He's to the right of Shaker Reisig. 2nd down, we'll call it 6. Shaker rolls right. Oh, he's got a man out there, and wide, smoking open, but he can't quite get it to him. Shaker's still on the run. Now he's going to go to his left. He's going down the field to Braylon Danzy, but couldn't get it there. But Brendan McQueen had made an out-and-up move on the far side, and Brendan was 10 yards open. The Shaker either didn't see him or couldn't quite, because he was being chased, get his body set to make that throw. However, he did show you a little Mahomes right there in keeping that play alive before he tried to get it downfield to Braylon Danzy.
Absolutely.
So it's going to be 3rd and 6, but after a really, really entertaining 2nd down play. Ball's at the 39-yard line of Westmore. Union needs the 38. At the 44-yard line, they need the 38. Quick throw left side. That ball is caught, and catching that thing was Dylan Baldridge. But it's going to be short right at the 40. However, I'm telling you, that is certainly a go-for-it thing.
Yeah, it's inside. Looks like you're going to put it right about the 39.
They did. They actually gave him the extra yard at the 39-yard line.
Yep.
Knocked out of bounds there by Courtney Graham. Courtney Graham's an active player, but you haven't heard his name a lot tonight. He will wear 4 and 9 different times during the year. He's wearing 4 tonight. So they'll mark it at the 39. It will be 4th down, and it's kind of a long one, if you will. 4 receivers, no tight ends, and once again, Tavion Sperry Spite will be the running back. Shaker tried to draw him off sides, couldn't. Rolls to his right, inside little toss once again, and this time it didn't work. It's the same little Utah pass, if you will, they tried before and had great success with. Tavion Perry Spite is the guy who caught the football, but this time it will not go for the 1st down. We get a sideline report now from Jeff Johns. He wants to talk a little bit about defensive coach talk.
One thing we just heard from the defense as they were over here on the side is to keep the quarterback contained. He keeps flushing out to the left and to the right, and they want to make sure that he doesn't have an opportunity to scramble. So they're trying not to push him outside of the pocket, just kind of keep him contained. And once he breaks that line of scrimmage, then go in. Or once he moves out to the side and commits to the run, then they need to go in and stop him. The other thing we heard from the coaches was keep your cool. Tempers have started to get a little bit heated as the temperature on the field is also pretty hot. Even though it is cooling down a little bit, coaches want their players to keep their cool.
All right, Jeff, we appreciate that. Our sideline report from Jeff Johns. It is 1st and 10 now for Westmore at their own 40-yard line. Michael Graham Jr., the guy they want to keep in the pocket, back. Here comes pressure. Graham looking. Now he's going to try to flush and cannot. He is dragged down, and that is a fine play by the same guy who got caught for the face mask a little earlier. That is Markel McNeil, pardon me. No, pardon me, that's not McNeil. That is Donovan Pennington. I apologize to Mrs. McNeil and Mr. McNeil, but that is Donovan Pennington. He got the face mask a little earlier, but he drags him down for a loss of, let's see, that's going to be loss of 12. So this time, Coach, they kept him in the pocket.
That's right.
Not only kept him in the pocket, let him have a seat.
Yeah, you want to keep him in the pocket because once he gets out, he's a double threat, no doubt about it.
Well, now he's got a lot of room to make up. It's going to be second down and 22. Michael Graham Jr. in the shotgun. Again, here comes pressure. He's going to have to hurry. Runs to his right. He delivers this time to his big tight end, and the catch made by Zane Zielny around the 37-yard line. He is ganged up on right there. You saw Isaiah Forbes, Ashton Fowler, Damian Marshall, Lane Wood, and it takes that many people to get that big dude down. He is 6'4", 232 pounds. He's another one guy with D1 offers, and he is a good-looking athlete. So it'll bring up third down and 12. The ball now at the 38-yard line. They'll give him that much as the quarter comes to an end. So at the end of 3, here at Moore High School, Moore Stadium, at the location Moore High School, it is the Westmore Jaguars trailing the Union Redhawks 42-7. Back in a moment. Teams coming back on the field here as we'll begin the fourth quarter. Rick Corey along with Coach Tom Stockton. Jeff Johns down on the sidelines, probably sweating it out right about now. Dad Richard up here in the cool air conditioning where older guys should be. And Andy Irwin behind us as well as the UView crew. Third down and about 12 now for Westmore. High snap, but Graham Jr. brings it in. He is being chased for his life. Got away, running to his left. Now he's going to retreat even further. Here come a bunch of Union players, and he finally got rid of the football. That will be a flag. He was not outside the tackle box. However, he also is still a little, there's a player down, pardon me. But I think that one's going to, that is Graham Jr. who's down. I wonder if he took a shot they don't like, and yep. They're going to call roughing the quarterback on Union. And what would have been a 4th and 12 is going to turn into a first down for Westmore. Union had several people chasing. I didn't see who got that final hit, but there was a gang of people chasing Michael Graham Jr. as he retreated all the way back to around the 16-yard line. He got up a little late, and he is holding that helmet a little bit, but they did call the roughing the passer, and they will then take this thing down to Union territory and mark it at about the 47.5-yard line, or right at the 47. You catch who that was in the final hit, Tom?
No, I don't know. And I wasn't sure. I almost thought the flag might be grounding. You know,
well, the flag looked like that to me initially, but that's not what he said. Obviously, you don't mark off grounding against the defense.
No.
It's 42-7 Union here in this as we begin this fourth period, and Kirk Frederick goes out and has a word with Michael Toon, the officiating crew chief, the guy in the white hat. I am sure that that word didn't help much in this condition, in this situation, but he did have his say. So it'll be 1st and 10 Westmore rather than the 4th down they were to face. Michael Graham Jr. will once again be back, and again, here comes pressure. This time he's going to flush and have a little room. He escapes one, jumps to his left, and now he just goes to the ground. He was chased by everybody in there. Lucian Krause was the guy who's going to get credit for that tackle. Another one of these guys, you're going to hear his name on defense for the Union this year as they are trying to fill that linebacker core. Lost a lot of good players. We all know that. Lost a lot of good guys up front trying to replace all those guys. Trey Barnes, the only starter back on this defensive line. So in that first front 7, you're dealing with almost all new guys. 2nd and 10 for Westmore again. Graham Jr. has got to be one of the most tired guys out there from running around. Fires it left side quickly, and he was trying to get it to Meshaw Graham, but threw it well out of his reach, and it's going to be 3rd and 10. And, as tired as they are of chasing him, he's got to be tired of being chased.
Oh, yeah, it's well, especially with this weather and that, it's been very tough because he's hardly had a passing play where he's been in the pocket to throw it. He's always running outside well, he's having to because of the rush.
And Union is bringing pressure on almost every play and
Yes.
just kind of ignoring that middle. And that's why a little bit earlier, they were able to get a couple across the middle to Zane Zilney, that big tight end of theirs, but they haven't tried that lately. It's going to be 3rd and 10. Ball at around the 48-yard line of the Red Hawks, so they'll need to get to the 38. Graham grabs a bad snap, and he's going to throw it deep. And, again, he kind of throws it over the head of almost everybody. The closest guy was Devon Jordan. Actually, Devon ran the best route, and he had an opportunity at it but could not quite catch it, and that's going to fall incomplete. And, again, Westmore uses a very little clock to get nothing out of it, and as long as Union doesn't commit another penalty here, this one's going to go over to the Red Hawks with about almost 11 minutes to go in this 4th period. 2 minutes and 15 total seconds off the clock. 2:14 according to that clock over there. JT Frederick will be back to catch the punt. Coming from Alizar Andrews. Great name, Alizar Andrews. Sounds like a Harry Potter character. Good snap this time. Andrews got a good foot to it. JT lets it bounce, and it's going to bounce right in front of him. He'll leave it right there. Going to be downed almost immediately by Westmore. That's going to be Chauncey Law. And actually, Chauncey might have let that go, Tom. I think it might have gone a little further.
Yeah, I think it would have bounced down there, maybe even inside the 10, that's for sure.
So the Union will take it back with 10:42 to go in this game, leading by a 42-7 score. Now, here's where I figure personally, just if I'm guessing, I think you might see the starting offense of this series and then maybe no more, but we'll see who runs out there. Yeah, there's a flag down as well, which honestly, I've had a hard time seeing those flags hit the ground personally. I'm not sure if that's just me or not. Probably. Richard Johns assures me it is you, old man. I'm not saying it's not. I am not saying it's not.
Shaker Isaac is back in, so.
Again, I'd be almost a little surprised if they didn't play at least a series and maybe a couple of series into this 4th period. Every snap, that new offensive line, every snap those receivers, every snap you get with Shaker Rising in live action play is going to make you better.
Yes.
Good players make teams better. Great players make everybody around them better. 42-0, Bixby leads their game with Owasso, the Battle of the Burbs, in the 4th quarter. So a statement being made by Lauren Montgomery Spartans of, we're still over here.
Yeah.
We might have, the Haas boys may be gone, and there is one Presley left, but he's very young over at Bixby.
Oh.
They still have some players.
Penalty on Union.
So the flag will take the ball back to around. They're going to mark it at the 12-yard line. And that's where Union will take the ball 1st and 10 at 10:47 to go in the game. Shaker in the shotgun. Schelling is the single setback. He will fake to him. Now Shaker's going to run, and he's got some room. He's at the 15-yard line. He's at the 20. Gets a block, 25. He's going to be near the 30, and he skips out of bounds, and he showed you some of that speed.
Yeah.
And that was a fabulous, fabulous downfield block. I think that downfield block, that downfield block came from Dylan Baldridge. Nice job of getting that downfield block. 16 yards on that run by Shaker. And I'll tell you one thing, even late in a game like this, you can tell he's not afraid to take it out either. Some quarterbacks, he got out of bounds when he should have, but he didn't mind running that at least like that. So it's at the 28-yard line. It'll be 1st and 10 Redhawks. Quick throw left side. That is complete. Up across the 40 and almost going further. That was Schelling, who had split out of the backfield as a running back. He made that catch, and they're going to mark him. It's going to depend on where they mark him. He was right on that sideline. And they're walking all the way back. So we had a hold.
Yep.
Yep, there's the flag. It's way over there. So that's going to be a hold. Union has hurt themselves. They hurt themselves with a defensive penalty, that roughing the passer, and then they hurt themselves there after a really nice play. Speaking of hurting themselves after the defensive penalty, Jeff Johns down on the sidelines has a word about that roughing penalty. Jeff?
Yeah, interesting call there by the head ref. He said that the personal foul roughing the passer was for driving the quarterback to the ground, which is something we haven't seen called yet. So we'll see if we see more of that going forward.
Well, that is a personal decision of the official. They can make that decision that you've done that. So they move it all the way back now to around the 24-yard line. They'll be first down and around 15. Quick throw left side. That is complete. Up across the 30 to around the 32, 33, maybe even the 34-yard line. That's a nice job by, once again, Boston Carrasco, who suddenly has become a go-to guy here in the absence of Gino Boyd. He has a touchdown of 40 yards, and he's got several catches other than that. That got him back a good, probably 8 yards. It's second down at about 6. Another quick throw to the left side, and again, flags fly. That's going to be another, that's going to be the 6th, I believe, procedure penalty on Union. If you look at Carrasco's numbers, he now has 5 catches for 70 yards and a touchdown. He is Union's leading catcher when it comes to yardage tonight, Coach. And coming in, can you tell us you knew a lot about him?
No, I did not. And that, when he throws that fast pass like that, it almost looks like he shoves it out there real fast instead of throwing it. But I'm sure I'm wrong. But
yeah, that thing gets there in a hurry.
He is just
he flips it. He has such great early delivery. I mean, you hear about fast delivery, you wonder what that means. You'll see guys who you can see them warm up and they're kind of wind up and throw. Shaker's delivery is just so doggone quick. Hand off to Schelling. He's got some room. Schelling bounces outside. That's a nice move. He's out near the 40, but won't quite get there. He's taken down right there. That's a nice bounce to the outside, though, by Schelling. Finally taken down by Kendall Hall, and that's going to be at the 39-yard line, so easily a first down. And Jordan Schelling, the move in from Jenks, proves he's worth his weight right there.
Yep.
Tough inside runner. Now, these guys aren't DJ McKinney. It's a different running game that you saw last year. But you just want the number from the position overall. Fake to him. Now throwing deep once again is Reisig, and he's got a man that is complete at the 20-yard line into the end zone. Touchdown. That is Gam Jones. Nice job by Shaker Reisig. Not only 61 yards on the touchdown, not only the fake, but then held the ball patiently with his back to the line of scrimmage and the ball in his chest, then turned, then found Gam Jones, then delivered the strike for the 61-yard touchdown, and it's now 48-7 Union.
And he didn't break a stride in that route from Reisig's throw. I mean, it was right on the money.
He now at Shaker is 27 of 34 for 322 yards, 5 touchdowns. He's completed balls to 9 receivers. His completion percentage, 79%. His quarterback rating, 207.5. I wish that was my weight. I'll tell you that. That's a heck of a quarterback rating, my friends.
Yeah, I haven't seen one that high. I don't think I've ever seen one that high.
And I know and I've heard and I should know the perfect rating, and he's obviously not there, but he is closing in on numbers we don't see.
Yeah.
Shaker Reisig showing why everybody talks about Shaker Reisig. Brand new kicker in this game. Thank you, Andy. Ball down and up. And the man who kicked it through this time is Jaden Lee. It is good, and that's what matters. So it's now 49-7 Union, and the big question will be, with 8:59 to go in this fourth period, will we see that first-team offense again? We don't know. We know we'll see the first-team defense again here in a moment. Well, we talked about an uneven offensive performance in the first half, Tom. They've evened it out. There's no doubt about that here in the second half. Certainly, you've seen great things from Shaker Reisig. You're going to have to do, I don't want to say a better job. You want a more dangerous running game overall, so you don't have to put all the pressure on Shaker. But it's a heck of a start. That's a 4-play, 86-yard drive. Took all of a minute and 48 seconds. Gam Jones with the 61-yard catch. And by the way, nice job by Gam getting open like that, because he was way, way open. Now, when it comes to running, and when I say rushing, the rushing numbers aren't bad. Union has 134 rushing yards. Schelling has 12 carries for 70. Perry Spite 11 for 46. And then Shaker 5 for 18. So what you're looking at, you want to take Shaker out of those numbers, but you're looking between Schilling and Perry Spite trying to get somewhere about what D.J. McKinney would have last year, because you're not going to get the same number of rushing yards.
Not one of them.
Probably from one of those guys. But if by committee you can do that, you're going to be happy.
The bottom line is just to make it to where they have to worry about both the run and the pass.
New kicker as well, Gavin Litchfield, is going to get a chance to kick off. Ball set at the 40. Let's see how deep Gavin can get it. This thing's going to go about the 5 and bounce, and it's going to be picked up by Westmore right there at the 5, but really almost nowhere to go, and he's taken down inside the 5-yard line. Did not cleanly field the ball, and then when he finally picked it up, there was just nowhere to go, and that ball was picked up down there by number 19 from Westmore, and that is Jaden Hunter. Hunter kind of danced around and eventually went backwards, and they're going to mark him. They're going to be very gracious and give him the 5, and that's where Westmore will take over. And, Tom, if they throw it 3 times incomplete here, they're going to give Union not just good field position, but golden field position.
I think they've got their backup quarterback, number 10, Trey Lewis, coming into the game. Yep.
That is who's coming out there.
Yep.
Very bright yellow or green socks and all. Trey Lewis will come out. Michael Graham Jr. will take a rest. See if they stick a little more with the running game. He is in the end zone. So is the running back off to his right. He takes the snap and he hands that ball off left side. Running back this time, it's a brand new running back for Westmore. This time it is going to be number 12, and that is Damian Moore. Moore powers forward but didn't get past the line of scrimmage. He's taken down right there, and it'll be 2nd and 10.
Moore and the quarterback must be buddies because they've got on the same green shoes.
They've been spatted up green,
I
too,
guess,
it looks like.
Yeah.
So Damian Moore is the guy who will be playing that running back spot now. He's next to Lewis. Hand off up the middle. He's going to get forward this time at least across that 5-yard line to around the 7. And that will bring up a 3rd down and 8. But as we said, Tom, at least they are using clock that way.
Yes.
So it's Trudell Lewis now, the 5'10", 165-pound junior, who will be under center. And we'll see if they stick with, once again, let's just hand that football off. And if they do, the guy to his side, once again, is Damian Moore. Nope, each time he's going to throw, Union shows blitz. Here they come, and he's running to his right. He's going to have to try to scramble, and he does, and he's going to have the first down, Tom.
Yep,
He's going to go all the way across the 15-yard line out to around the 17. He's finally taken down out there by Cook, but not before he got about 11 and a first down. So once again, where they really hurt Union tonight, Westmore I'm talking about, is only with the scramble.
Yep.
They haven't really had a running game they could really lay their hat on, but they have been able to scramble, and that has paid off for them.
And he kept it in bounds, and the clock's still going.
7 minutes to go here in this game. Lewis once again in the shotgun. Going to try to throw again. He's going to sling it across the middle of the field, and that was nearly intercepted. 2 Union players, maybe 3, had a chance at it. J.T. Frederick had the best chances. He closed from that safety position, but he cut right across and in front of another Union player who had a shot, Dejon Gaines. And it looked like maybe JT stepped just in front of Dejon, and I don't know that if he ever really saw it or if he really had a great chance, but it went off his hands, incomplete either way, and it's going to be 2nd and 10.
Well, it looked like he might have had his hand, his eyes on it, ready to go, and then the other guy cut in front of him to try his interception, and it made him miss the football.
So Lewis with Moore in the backfield next to him. Once again, we'll have a 2nd down, this time 2nd and 10. There's the snap, quick throw to the right side, and that is incomplete. Lewis has a very unusual wide arm motion. Yeah, he does not bring the ball over the top at all. It's not truly a sidearm, but it's an unusual motion. And heck, that alone can be difficult for receivers and defensive backs.
Oh, absolutely.
So that stops the clock again. There's now 6.5 to go here in this 4th period. 48-7, pardon me, the Redhawks. And they are going to let that play clock, which is at 13, continue to run down before Lewis snaps the ball, and that is the smart thing to do by Lorenzo Williams. Moore now goes in motion. Actually, motion now by another player, brand new player. Lewis picks up a bad snap. He's going to flip it out to the left side, wide open across the 20, 25, and the 30. Getting the first down was Chauncey Law. Chauncey Law comes into the game, plays a little bit of running back, jumps to the outside, and he goes and gets a first down. So Westmore's been down to their kind of, I don't want to say last gasp, but been down to their third and forever 3rd and 10 twice and been able to convert both times.
Yeah.
That'll cause some jaw flapping on the Union sidelines. Boy, the green spats on those shoes you can see way up here.
Oh, yeah.
Trudell Lewis, you are styling, my friend. 1st and 10, Trudell throws quickly to the left side, and that is Law once again who makes the catch at the 30. Nice move. Gets across the 30, across the 40, another first down. Now, there are a lot of different players out there for Union now, so you're seeing some different guys. Check in Dejon Gaines on that tackle. Helping him out on that tackle was Julian Lasky. So you are seeing some backups, and that's good. You want to see some players, kind of a mix, if you will, of guys out there giving up people an opportunity. So that's part of the reason for some of this. It's also using a little bit of clock at least. Clock is running again after that first down. Now at their 41-yard line, the Jaguars will continue. Lewis again alone in the backfield, 5 receivers. Here comes pressure, fires it again quickly to Law. Again, Law gets forward to 45, 50. He's really close to another first down. Not going to get there, I don't think, this time. Well, he's going to get close.
Yeah,
they're going to mark him right at the 49. You know, I think they're going to give him that first down, Tom.
Yeah. We'll see.
Let's see where they put it. Yeah, they're going to put nose at the 49, so they're going to give him the first down. That is 4. Isn't that 4 first down plays in a row?
Yeah.
3 first down plays in a row. Thank you, Richard. So here come the Jaguars, and, at this point, Trudell Lewis and his family are going, hey, this is not so hard.
No.
I think it's the shoes. Andy's right.
Yeah.
So now we have either a timeout or a water break. I think it's a timeout for Union. So I think, for amongst things to talk about here, I think Coach Frederick just wants to give his staff time to kind of settle everybody down.
Yeah.
They're not doing anything complicated. They're throwing short smoke routes, if you will. And then, guys are breaking tackles and that kind of thing. But you're talking about some guys out there that are backups. It's their first game action, too. Yeah. The starters at least had 3.5 quarters to go through and got used to a little bit of that. Now these guys, these backups, they're in their first game action. And, they know the action a little better because in practice they're going against first-team guys.
Yeah.
So it is a little faster pace for them, but it's still different when you're out here. And so now I think he just probably wants to settle everybody down.
Yeah, he just wants them to, we don't, there's, 4:47 left. Play it like the score's, close instead of with this far ahead. Except, give them a little space.
Owasso scored, and they've made it now 42-9 in their game, Battle of the Burbs over at H.A. Chapman. Here it is 49-7, so similar scores. 1st and 10. Once again, Trudell Lewis in the shotgun alone. Union not showing pressure this time. They will bring one extra. Lewis is going to fire it across the middle. It's intercepted. Intercepted at around the 38-yard line, back around the 42-yard line, and he's going to be taken down right there.
He fumbled.
And the ball was fumbled, and it was picked up. Was it picked up by Westmore? It was. The interception was to Miguel Rodriguez. I'm sorry, Cyrus Burris. I think. Cyrus Burris and Miguel Rodriguez both wear 34, and they both play defense. So I apologize. Actually, I think that was probably Rodriguez, who made the interception and then got twisted, turned, and tossed to the ground. And when he did, he fumbled, and Westmore came up with it. So 2 turnovers. You had a fumble and a fumble. And it all ends up with Westmore to 1st and 10 now at the Union 33-yard line with 4.5 to go in this game. Lewis, straight back, looks, fires to the right side. Once again, that ball is caught and then taken down around the 31-yard line. Now, certainly Union is playing a little lighter coverage, too. So the fact that Brody Inhofe caught that football is not necessarily surprising. Union did at least that time make the tackle pretty quickly, and so it'll be 2nd down. They're only going to give him 3. It's going to be 2nd down and 7.
And they got mostly second teamers in on that secondary, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so.
There are a couple of guys, I'd seen a couple of other linebackers out there, but this is almost all seconds now. And Union jumps offside and makes contact, so that'll give Westmore 5 more.
Offside, Union.
And you would certainly expect it at this point. You're going to have some nerves, and you're going to have some miscues by all these young guys in the game. Certainly no one's out there to make a mistake. That'll move it all the way to the 26-yard line. It'll give a second, and it's going to be a long 3. Lewis back, fires middle of the field again, and almost intercepted again, but incomplete. Trying to go to Zielny, but there were several Union players in the area. Closest guy to that at that point was Dejon Gaines, and it'll be 3rd down. We're going to call it 3, but that's kind of a long 3, Tom.
Yeah. We'll say 3.5.
There you go.
There we go.
I trust you, whatever you say.
Well, you're not the brightest.
Are you saying don't?
No, I'm just saying you're not the brightest bulb in the box.
Well, you knew that when you've coached me. All right, so we're at a 3rd down, and we're going to call it 3.5. The ball sits just around the 26-yard line of the Red Hawks. They're going to need closer to that 18-yard line, and they got it. Fired to the right side, and that ball is complete over there. Once again, that completion goes to Brady Inhofe. He is ushered out of bounds fairly quickly. Want to make sure to give everybody the credit they deserve. Ushered out of bounds pretty quickly over there. Not Jordan Shellman, but Dre Willis, one of the guys on that tackle. The other, I believe, I don't think so. Maybe Julian Lasky, the tackle. So now marked down around the 14. It'll be 1st and 10. Jaguars there. Ball's on the ground. That's a fumble. It's still on the ground, and Westmore recovers. Low snap to Lewis. He couldn't quite get there. He got hit. Union tried to jump on it. It bounced sideways, and then Westmore was able to get down there and recover it. So it will be a 2nd down, and now more like 16.5, 17 for the Jaguars. 2:52 and counting, 49-7 Union. Lewis has room in the backfield, company this time in the backfield. Zelny will go in motion to the left. This time he will hand off to the inside, and not a lot of room right there, but pushing forward down to around the 15-yard line. Nice job of avoiding one tackle early. Ball carrier right there was Chauncey Law, who's had some pretty good work here lately. And I believe the end result in that tackle was Logan Haney. So we'll give him a few yards, and we're going to make it 3rd down and about 12. Ball's on the 15. They need to get to around the 3. Lewis set once again. Fakes inside. Now he's going to have to run on his own, and he jumps past a couple of guys, but he's not going to get much past the 10. He got corralled pretty quickly there about the 10-yard line. He did make a couple of people miss, but then several guys jumped in on the tackle. Last guy there looked like it was Dyshawn Lipsy, the cornerback.
Tell you what, both these quarterbacks have made a lot of people miss them tonight.
They have. Both of them have really good stop-and-go motions.
Yes.
I haven't seen – Michael Graham Jr. showed you the open field speed when he got free a little earlier. Lewis has not had that opportunity yet. Going to be 4th down and about 7 for Lewis. There's the snap. He's going to fire it, or can he? He's going to be chased, and now he's going to fumble. The ball's on the ground. Union had it and then dropped it and then had it and then dropped it. Now they pick it up. Now they're running with it. Union back around the 25-yard line. That ball was knocked around, jumped around, finally picked up. And it was picked up by one of the bigger guys out there, and that is Ezekiel Palos, and he looked like he did not want to go down.
No, I think he wanted to have a big
celebration
and a lot of cheers and stuff when they watched the film.
Zeke got all the way out to the 28-yard lines and will now be demanding to play running back.
Yeah.
Tell me a guy who picked up a fumble and actually had a good return who didn't at some point the next week go to the offensive coach and go, guys, I'm available.
I mean, did you see how fast I was running?
Yeah, you're right. I made a couple guys miss. I pulled some guys along, right? Guys will do that, right? So 1 minute and 2 seconds to go in this game. Thanks for joining us here on the Union Sports Network. And we will bring out a backup quarterback, as you can imagine. Shaker Reisig will not play in this series. Out there right now for Union in the quarterback position is going to be Case and Delgado. He's going to hand off straight up the middle, as you can imagine. Nothing fancy is going to happen here.
Yeah.
And, all anybody wants, as Andy said, is to start the clock, please. Damar Neely's out there playing a little running back. Damar is moving over mostly to linebacker this year. Very happy for that young man. Damar is one of the captains. He is a hard-nosed, hard-working, good young man. And anything good that can happen for Damar Neely, I'm happy about. He got about 6 right there, and it'll be 2nd down and 4. He'll turn and hand off to Damar again, and he'll push forward across the 35, 37. He got the 1st down. He got all the way out to the 39-yard line, and he is celebrating himself. Now they do not have to start the clock again, and they will not snap it again. That's going to do it. So the clock at 19, it will continue to run down, and the final score in this game will be 49-7. Jeff Johns will get with our head coach. That's right, with Kirk Frederick after this game, and we will get his thoughts. And then we'll have him jump in with Shaker Rising just quickly and get his thoughts as well. After, I don't know that his record setting, but his final quarterback rating is going to be 207.5, and I don't know that you're ever going to see something like that again. But then again, he's got time left to play, so who knows. We're at 0s, and that's that. Game 1 is in the books. That taste of the 6 overtime loss to Owasso is gone. 49-7, Union wins that football game. We'll be back in a moment with our post game. This is Union Red Hawk football on the Union Sports Network. Closing moments here. We are in Moore, Oklahoma. This is Moore Stadium. It's where all 3 Moore schools play. This is Union in Westmore, and Union wins this game by a score of 49-7. I'm Rick Corey along with Tom Stockton. Down on the field right now, we are getting with Coach Frederick, and then as soon as we get with Coach Frederick, we're gonna wrap this thing up and move on down the road because we've all got to get back to the house. But going through some of the stats here, the 49-7 is the most important. Union, who did struggle offensively a little bit in that first half, I say struggle, it was more uneven than anything else, ended up with 467 yards of total offense. 467. 241, though, for Westmore. And you have to hand it to them.
Yeah.
Those kids got behind early but hung in.
Yeah, they did.
And kept going. 322 passing yards for Union, 145 for the Jaguars. Union with 145 rushing yards, 96 for Westmore. The big stat goes down under the turnovers. 6 fumbles for Westmore. They lost 4 of those. Union fumbled 1 time and lost it. And here's the remarkable stat, something that I don't know that you'll see again, and maybe you will because this kid has time left to play, but Shaker Rising was 27 of 34 for 322 yards and 5 touchdowns. He completed passes to 9 different receivers, completed 79% of his passes, and his quarterback rating, 207.5. Tom, I don't even know what to say about that.
I didn't even know you could have one that high.
Well, most quarterbacks wouldn't probably dream of it. Overall rushing, Schelling had 12 carries for 70 yards and a touchdown. Perry Spite, 11 carries for 46 yards. Shaker had 5 carries for 18, and Damar Neely 2 for 11. Receiving side, might have found a guy. Boston Carrasco.
Yep.
5 catches, 70 yards and a touchdown. And Boston Carrasco sounds like something you order at a really nice restaurant.
Yes.
Probably for dessert, like I'll have the Boston Carrasco.
Yes.
This guy got a little sugar on him, too, because he was really good tonight. He made people miss. He caught balls that were difficult to catch. And when Gino Boyd went out, which happened in the kind of late in the first half, this guy came in and he just took up the slack.
Yeah, he did. And, you know, one of the things that's good about a game like this, sometimes in the first game of the year, they're close, that you can't do. We got to play a lot of different people, and a lot of guys showed the coaches, hey, I'm capable of coming in here and doing some good things. You need to think about this. You know, I want to be able to play some more.
Brendan McQueen, 5 catches, 63 yards and a touchdown. Braylon Danzy, 4 catches, 43 yards and a score. Perry Spite, 3 catches, 34 yards. Schelling had 3 catches for 19 yards. Gino Boyd, 3 for 18. Dylan Baldridge had 2 catches for 15 yards and a touchdown. Gam Jones had 1 catch for 61 and a touchdown. So he completed balls to 9 guys, 5 touchdowns, 5 different receivers on those
Yeah.
touchdowns. Damar Neely had 1 catch for -1, and then Miles Davis in there as well. He had a catch, but it didn't go for much, and so that is that. Now, when you looked over at Westmore, tough night for Michael Graham Jr., their quarterback, 7 of 23 for 97 yards. He was chased all night long. Tredell Lewis did a little better at 5 for 7 and against the backups of 48 yards. Rushing-wise, it was Michael Graham Jr. himself, 15 carries for 68 yards and a touchdown. He had a long of 58. He was by far their best player tonight. And they did have a lot of guys catch balls.
Yeah.
Zane Zelny, 3 for 34 yards. Chauncey Law, 3 for 33. Jaden Hunter, 2 for 31. Jake Reed, 2 for 15. Misha Graham, 1 for 28. And Colton Bennett, 1 for 4. So that's a look at those stats. And again, as Jeff is talking right now with Coach Frederick, and we'll get that up here in just a second, your thoughts overall?
Well, I think it was at first it was a little shaky back and forth, a little bit, but as the game grew on and on and on, I think Union found their way. I think, they kind of know going into next week's game, they know what they want to do offensively in the running game and in the passing game and defense. Overall, I think it was a good performance.
Well, you see Coach Frederick down there talking to Jeff right now. You depend on your great players to make great plays. And Shaker Reisig did that. And we talk about him making everybody better. Some of those shoulders, some of those throws, the back shoulder throws, things like that, guys still have to catch them.
Yeah.
And a couple of those, especially Carrasco, or pardon me, let's see, it was, I think McQueen's.
Yes.
Yeah, McQueen's that was somewhat guarded, and he had to make that catch with guys all over him, and he did.
Yeah.
So you saw that. You saw that kind of that happening right there. It'll be interesting now after week 1 when Coach has a chance to look at that film and say, all right, now what did you find out? What do you think about offensive line? What do you think about what guys are doing? What do you think? And then defensively, because you did give up some of those runs and you missed some tackles.
Yeah.
Now, to be honest, you've not been really tackling in practice.
No.
You've been thudding and not going to the ground, and you tackle some and you had the preview, but not an awful lot. So I'm sure they'll be part of that too. All right, Jeff is finished. Let's get down to the floor and Coach Frederick and Jeff Johns. Jeff?
Well, Coach, I think you said it best just there in the huddle. It was a really great game, a good win, and there's room for improvement. What things did you like, and what things did you want to see better?
Well, we've got to get a lot better. We too many mistakes, too many penalties, too many, false starts, jumping off sides, whatever you want to call it. We call them DOUs, where they're just dead ball penalties, and can't do that against good football teams. Fortunately for us, I think the turnovers got us in the game. And got us where we need to be, but we've got to execute a lot better.
Absolutely. It seemed like they had a good game plan to slow you down at the beginning, but then they kind of wore down, and you had some more opportunities over the top. What kind of adjustments did you make at half?
Well, you just got to, when you have a team early, you're not real sure everything they're going to do, and so for us to figure out what their game plan was and for us to be able to make a few adjustments, get a little more patient so that we can extend some drives and needed to be patient. And I think once we settled down, we were able to put some drives together and score some points.
On the defensive side of the ball, obviously, as we knew coming into the game, their quarterback had some wheels, and he was able to make some things happen. But for the most part, we kept him contained and not too many big runs. What did you see on that day?
He's a really good player. I mean, he's going to create a lot of problems for a lot of people, and have a lot of respect for him. He's tough to handle.
Yeah, I think this is probably one of those teams that you'll see in early round of the playoffs that may give someone some trouble, like you said, going forward. But great win so far, Coach. We'll look forward to next week.
Awesome. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
It's Kirk Frederick on the field with our sideline reporter, Jeff Johns. Thanks. So that's going to finish it up here at Moore. We're at Moore High School, but this is Moore Stadium. Westmore losing 49-7 here to the Union Redhawks. Next week, it is home and Broken Arrow, and that is, my friends, is a different monster. We'll see you then. Make sure to join us next week on the Union Sports Network at unionsportsnetwork.com.